In Kansas City, your number 2 ranked Arizona Wildcats for the second time this month will take on number 7 Iowa State. And as Brian Jeffries just said, this time it is for a berth in the Big 12 tournament championship game. Welcome to Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. I'm your host, David Kelly. We've got Kelvin Efon here with us as well today. We've got J.W. Madden in studio. We've got you for the next 3 hours of our program right up until 3:30. And then, of course, it'll be Brian Jeffries and Reggie Geary from the T-Mobile Arena in Kansas City for today's broadcast of the Wildcats and the Cyclones. Let's let you know what we've got coming up for you over the course of the next 3 hours.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, first and foremost, we will get to the breaking news of the day that dropped late last night, and that is the glass floor. No more, as my old compadre, Paul Cicala, would like to say. It is out. We'll get to that. We'll review the win. The Wildcats had 81-59 over UCF. We'll get our first look at Iowa State. That's brought to you by Window Depot. We'll take a view from the new courtside, the hardwood courtside. Kevin Curran is the broadcast engineer for the broadcast that you hear here, ASE, Brian Jeffries, and he's going to join us from Kansas City to kind of let us know what the hardwood looks like, maybe how the ball is bouncing on that, as brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Spotlight on a cat. Ryan Hansen, one of the analysts on the radio broadcast for the U of A, spoke with Dwayne Aristote, who missed some games due to an illness, but is now back with the club. That is just a little bit of what we've got coming up for you in the first hour plus of this program today. But we want to get right to the breaking news again that dropped late last night, and that is concerning the floor at T-Mobile Arena. They have gotten rid of the glass floor. Shocking how these things happen. Let's hear from the commissioner, Brett Yormark, who spoke about this decision to change back from glass to hardwood.
The court has received mixed reviews, and I've encouraged feedback from all the key stakeholders and participants, and it's very intentional. And yesterday I met with the 4 coaches from the semifinal teams, and we collaborated on what the next step should be, and we all decided that ultimately the focus needs to be on 4 of the best brands in college basketball today and tomorrow, and not the court. So I made that decision.
There you go. Brett Yormark saying he made this decision. It was a release that was put out last night. I think I saw. When did your Dragon Ball send that out? About was that right around 8, maybe 9 o'clock last night? The Dragon Ball was that you or Dragon Ball that shot that out to me last night? That time.
I mean, I think anybody paying attention saw the news as soon as it broke. Yeah.
Yeah. So again. The decision made, as the commissioner said, in the best interest of the student athletes. Now, I want you to hear that this is obviously before that. That's Brett Yormark talking about the decision after the fact. Let's hear from some of the opinions that took place before the fact, including Tommy Lloyd, the head coach of the Arizona Wildcats, who was asked yesterday about the glass playing surface.
I mean, I didn't play, I coached. And so I was on fine footing. You can ask these guys. I mean, they'll be able to give you a better answer about that. But for me, I mean, listen, we'll play on asphalt. We'll play on asphalt with double rims. I mean, we're fine with that. And, I mean, if the other team has to deal with it, then we'll deal with it as well. But I'll let the powers be, make those higher up decisions.
All right, now I didn't play a whole lot of basketball, so double rims. I have no idea what he's talking about there. What's a double? Kelvin, explain the double rim thing to me.
Okay, Kelvin. Okay, double rims. DK is every single high school and junior high school. Like every single playground has double rims, right? So it's not a matter of I'm like anybody who played basketball at any level early on at the playground during lunchtime or during any kind of recess played on double rims. They're just notoriously harder a harder surface. So to get a soft bounce off that thing, Kelvin, and double rims are notoriously bad for shooters. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, those double rims are basically exactly what it says. It's 2 rims. So usually you have that one cylinder. It's another one stacked on top, and it's to I think it's to make it more sturdy, to make it last longer. Yeah, I think that's the goal.
You see metal chains, right? So you'll see the double rim metal chain combination, and that's for places with weather. You're talking about outdoor courts here, weather, and people who like to jump up there and hang on the rims, Kelvin. So if you're like an administrator, you're grounds person, you're trying to make sure your rims last as long as possible, and you're putting them in a public space where a lot of people will do some tomfoolery, you add those double rims in just so that it lasts much, much longer, but not great for shooters.
Yeah, I tell you, as a guy who used to dunk real good, they really hurt your hands. They cause bad calluses on your hands. Trust me.
Double rims, glass floors, lot of different things happening in basketball. Let's hear from the U of A players. Motias Krivas, Braden Burries on playing their first game on the first and only game on the new glass court.
It's a little different, but no big differences. I think it's a good way to entertain the fans in the arena and on the TV, so all thumbs up.
Yeah. I think it's like you just got to get used to it real quick. It's like the first 5 minutes, or when you're warming up, just get used to it. But other than that, it was pretty good. And then only thing I didn't like was if you're shooting a free throw and you're on the other side, the white LED lights just get in your eyes a little bit. But ain't no big deal, really.
Well, yeah, that was one of the things that Taj Manning from Kansas State, we mentioned him yesterday, what he said, and we'll let you hear again coming up here in a moment what he had to say about it as well. But first, some of the other players that played on it yesterday, Christian Anderson from Texas Tech fell and slipped and strained a muscle in his groin area and was on the floor for a number of minutes. He said afterward, obviously the floor is a bit slippery. I think I just kind of misstepped or did a movement that caused me to slip. Emmanuel Sharp from Houston had this to say after his team beat BYU.
We're all on the same floor, so there's no advantage gained. I thought the floor was fine. I fall on the regular, so, it wasn't nothing different. But, yeah, it's an even playing field, so, I don't think it's crazy.
That was Emmanuel Sharp after the game.
It's an even playing field for the Big 12 players.
Yeah.
Not for the Big 12 versus the Big 10 players, not for the Big 12 versus the SEC players, not for the Big 12 versus any other conference that's playing conference tournaments right now. So, yes, if your goal is to win the Big 12 conference tournament, then everybody's playing on the same court. Obviously, there's not a competitive advantage. However, in the likelihood that it's not a slippery floor, DK, let's get that straight. It's slippery when it gets wet. And that happens when you're talking about men running Kelvin. The whole point of getting out in there and doing warm-ups is to get a good sweat on before the game starts. So have you seen, some guys sweat more than others. Some guys are super hydrated. And water, you're going to have wetness issues on the floor. If the floor gets wetter and slipperier over the course of the game, the issue is player safety. And the issue is with 4 or 5 teams. I said this 3 months ago when this was announced. When there's 4 or 5 teams in the conference that have an opportunity and have the personnel to make a super deep run in March, potentially even making it to the Final Four, Commissioner Yormark should be focused on getting as many teams as deep as possible into the NCAA tournament. That will bring as much attention to the conference as you need. All you need to do is get teams as far as possible. If there's any threat to any player safety issues in the tournament, postseason tournament of the conference leading into the NCAA tournament, clearly it's cute. Clearly people at home are going to like the bright graphics and the shattering glass when someone dunks. The gimmick of it is great. However, taking the gimmick and not taking player safety as the top premium priority of the conference, I think cooler heads prevailed. All but one coach voted to change back to hardwood. Do you know who didn't? TJ Olsenberg.
Oh, okay.
And that's because his team leads the nation in forced turnovers. They're 4th in the nation in forced turnovers. They forced 16 per game. Do you know how many turnovers they forced versus ASU in the first game? 23. Of course, TJ Otzenberger wants his opponent players slipping up and down the court because it's gonna lead to his team getting more fast break opportunities, getting live ball turnovers, and getting points off those turnovers. That's what Iowa State does. So of the 4 coaches that are still remaining in the tournament, they were all asked to vote. TJ Otzenberger is the only one of the 4 who voted to keep the glass court.
Bill Self had this to say. Now, he spoke after the announcement. Coach from Kansas spoke after the announcement last night that the floor was changing back. Here's what Bill Self had to say.
I didn't notice us slipping as much. I personally didn't think it was as big a deal. But if you study it and watch the games throughout the day and maybe even some tonight, it seemed like to me there was a lot of steps that end up sliding 1 or 2 inches that just didn't look quite as clean. So, it's a cool looking floor, but I'm excited that the talk tomorrow will be about the semifinals as opposed to the court.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, that all anybody's talking about is the court, at least to this point. Now, maybe once the games start being played, once the first ball is tipped, that will change. But right now, if you put Big 12 into any search engine on any social media platform, every story that's going to come up is something that somebody has written or posted about the decision to make this change with the court.
Real quick, Kelvin, the biggest travesty out of all this for me is that the women played their entire tournament on this court. They also had some complaints. Some of those players were not comfortable sliding around a little bit. Some complained about the lights and migraine type of headaches and stuff. And it wasn't until 2 days into the men's tournament that they had the cachet to maybe actually make some changes. So, Kelvin, I mean, the fact that, to me, the worst part about all this is the fact that the women played an entire tournament and they went 2 days on it. I just, it's got to be safety first.
Yeah, it has to be safety first. I was concerned about it. I mean, anytime you think about it and you're getting ready to play, and all of a sudden you're getting a new surface, as a player, it kind of messes with your head a little bit. But as a competitor, you tell yourself, the other team has to go through the same thing. You try to come up with whatever in your mind to make it okay because you have to go out here compete and take care of business. But to see, I saw some guys doing a little slipping here and there, and I wasn't sure exactly would that would have happened on the wood or not, because things happen on the wood as well. But it just seemed bad timing to me to do that in the Big 12 because you did make it about the court. It seems like the court had a lot of attention, whether people was talking about the graphics or whatever it is. To me, it's supposed to be about the players, about the schools. That's what the topic should be. That's what your main draw should be.
Let's just reiterate to listeners who maybe don't know, but there has never been a sanctioned competitive basketball game in the United States of America on this glass court before the last 2 days. They had it for the NBA All-Star Game. They've done some tournaments in Europe on this same court, but these last 2 days is the first time there's ever been games played that counted on one of these glass courts. So to me, what do they do when they do rule changes? They test it in the preseason. They test it in the summer league. Mm-hmm. This is the kind of thing that you should have for events that aren't the week before the NCAA tournament, okay? That's all. The glass court's great, but safety first. Dial it down, dial it in, make sure that you can get a surface that isn't slippery if it gets wet. That's the biggest priority. But to have this, gimmicky change the week before the NCAA tournament, to me, is a little short-sighted.
All right, the most damning condemnation of the court came from Kansas State forward Taj Manning. If you did not hear what he had to say, here's how Taj put it after his team was eliminated 1 game in of playing on the glass floor.
A little basketball question about tonight. Everyone's been talking about this floor. What was it like playing on the floor? I saw a few slippages.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, to be honest. It's slippery. It's the lights and stuff cause Kamari to get a migraine, and
really?
Yeah, it's a bad floor. They shouldn't bring it back. If you want my honest opinion.
Fun for the fans, but not for the players, maybe?
Well, I haven't really talked to any fans, so I don't know. I'll probably ask my dad what he thought about it. But yeah, it's just an eyesore. It's constantly changing and stuff. It's flashing different lights and all that. Nobody wants to play on it. We just want the normal hardwood.
There you go, normal hardwood, and that's what you're going to get for the semifinals today and the championship game. tomorrow.
I want to wrap this up by saying I feel bad for the CEO. We had his comments a couple days ago on our show, DK, and like it's a great idea and it's a great visual for people at home. Maybe not the gray on gray backcourt that court your mark and all the other people at Big 12 chose. You can put anything you want on that court. So I think in the not so distant future, you may see this court come back. You may see it in competition. I feel bad for that CEO because clearly it's a really bad PR thing for them to have to change it out midway through this tournament. I wish those guys nothing but success. I'm not rooting against that company that makes this floor. The safety, and we know there's a surface that there's got some roughness to it that they have traction on, but the idea that if it gets wet, it gets more slippery is just dangerous, especially when you're talking about the most competitive basketball games. How many, Sweet 16 teams are in this tournament? Right? How many teams that are going to make a deep run or have potential to make a deep run in the NCAA tournament? So they're trying to win this Big 12 tournament. Everybody's trying as hard as they can. And Kelvin, the harder you're trying, the harder you're cutting, the harder you're making movements that you need to be able to rely upon the shoes that you choose to wear and the surface that they respond to. So it's just a muscle memory thing. When you're talking about lateral movements, playing defense is a good example. When you're talking about getting your defensive stance and moving laterally, you're not thinking about the surface underneath you. You're thinking about your training, your repetition, and your muscle memory. And if the muscle memory doesn't match the traction on the floor, that's where injuries can happen. Now, I'm not blaming the court for injuries. Injuries can happen anywhere, but it's a higher likelihood of injuries if the court is slipperier.
And the last thing they will want to happen is a guy to injure a ACL or MCL because then the floor is through. Then it's done. If that happens on wood, okay, people are like, oh, that's just a freak injury. But if that happened this week on this court, I mean, it didn't matter to what player. God forbid it be one of the top players on the team or something. But I think it would be done after that.
Didn't we do?
It's probably
Didn't we do AstroTurf with concrete under it for a while there?
How did that work?
Not very good. Ask many football players that had to play on that stuff. It is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. 520-848-1290 is the number. Want to hear your thoughts on the controversy of the floor, as well as the Wildcats game today against Iowa State. Much more coming up for you straight ahead. We'll dive into what happened yesterday, what's going to happen today, and all of it. Straight ahead. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. Jaguar Land Rover, the Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Coach, Tommy Lloyd here with the Right Way team.
Great news. Free furnace season has been extended through the end of March. Have you been thinking about replacing your heating and cooling system this year? To spark business, we're giving away an 80% gas furnace or a heat pump air handler with the purchase of a new air conditioning system.
And we're offering up to 60 months no interest financing, manufacturer and energy efficiency rebates, and 10-year parts and labor warranty.
Call or text 520-200-2422 to book your free estimate today or visit rightwayac.com.
If it's worth doing, do it the right way.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilder.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
It's your time to shine. This is Desert Diamond Casino, the spot with Arizona's only hometown sportsbook, the hottest slots and tables, and off-the-charts energy you won't find anywhere else. Here, there's always a fun-filled, action-packed, downright unforgettable night right around the corner. So let your hair down, turn the sparkle all the way up. It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino.
An enterprise of the Tohono O'odham Nation.
Up your game in a new Buick or GMC from Royal Buick GMC. At Royal, we always deliver a quality vehicle at a great price. Score a great deal with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff and our transparent online pricing. Plus, Royal offers a 72-hour buyback guarantee. Score big at Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. See dealer for details. Royal Buick GMC in the Tucson Auto Mall or RoyalTucson.com.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
So, what is it that scares you the most?
The blue trucks from Essential Pest Control, Doctor. They leave bugs belly up.
I use one of those national companies.
Thanks, Doc. Those guys don't scare me.
Spring is bug season. Go blue with Essential Pest Control. We'll eliminate those bugs, bees, and termites. Buy local and stop paying too much with those national providers. Essential Pest Control is a bug's worst nightmare.
I can't sleep at night.
Essential Pest Control. Call 866-3029. That's 866-3029. Or visit essentialpest.com.
Hi guys, I'm back. What's new?
Tucson Appliance Scratch and Dent Studio.
All the Scratch and Dent merchandise has its own new studio.
There were so many Scratch and Dent discounted items. Now they have a place of their own.
I love it. A whole Scratch and Dent studio right next to Tucson Appliance. They don't look like Scratch and Dent,
but it shows in the low prices.
Tucson Appliance Scratch and Dent Studio. Proud local supporters of the Southern Arizona Heartball. Only at Tucson Appliance, where you are a priority.
Morning begins in the Rincon foothills. Rocking K, a master-planned community and place to call home, offering distinct neighborhoods designed to fit your lifestyle. Explore the outdoors, walk the trails, visit Saguaro National Park. Enjoy community parks and make new friends at Rocking K resident events. Walk to Vail School District's newest campus in Rocking K, Saguaro Creek. 17 model homes, 6 quality builders, move-in ready homes available from the 300s. Rocking K, designed by nature. A community by design.
Wildcats Radio 1290 Studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Miller so far at left side. Karchinkov, baseline inside. Underneath a Waka slam it home.
Yeah, beautiful baseline jog there by Karchinkov. Little drive and drop to Tobe Awaka for the one-hand slam.
First bucket.
Arizona, came out firing in their game yesterday against the UCF Knights and rolled 81-59 was the final score. Wildcats led by as many as 27 early, about 10 minutes into this game on Thursday. But to the credit of UCF, they fought back and got as close as 12. Tommy Lloyd after the game on the victory over the Knights.
Well, thank goodness we got off to a good start, because there were stretches of that game I didn't think we played very well. But, hey, the objective in these tournaments is to get to the next one, and, that's mission accomplished today. And obviously we know tomorrow is going to be a tough battle with, an Iowa State team playing in their backyard, but we look forward to it.
And again, that'll be the game you hear here right at 4 o'clock on Wildcats Radio 1290. Arizona led in that ball game by another fabulous performance by Braden Burries, who scored 21 points for the U of A. But again, it was the defense early in the contest as U of A shot to a quick 14-2 advantage. Ivan Karchinkov on the way that the Wildcats came out and really stifled UCF early.
Yeah, we played them already. We knew what they're doing. We just kind of wanted to get off a good start in the tournament against them. Just playing their tendencies, what they're most likely to do. And then we knew they're, liking to go to the paint and then give it a little drop off. We just packed it a little bit more. And yeah, we got a couple steals off of it, could have run with it. And it just was tough for them to finish over our big guys, Mo and Tobe.
Was starting fast, was that in the game plan, Tommy Lloyd?
It wasn't part of the messaging. A lot of times I tell the guys, let's get a feel for the game and kind of, hang in there and then try to figure out what works and see if we can build, to some runs, later in the half or early in the second half. And but hey, we came out and they had played the night before, and maybe it took them a little bit to kind of get the lactic acid out a little bit, and our guys were able to take advantage of that and build an early lead. And I'm never going to shy away from building an early lead, because to me, obviously, it gives you a buffer to absorb some of these late game runs, and it doesn't always feel good, but definitely, when teams are chipping away at your lead, but it's nice to have that lead and be able to have that margin for error, down the stretch.
Braden Burries, I mentioned the catalyst for the Wildcats in that contest once again, especially in the second half. His second halves have been unbelievable for this team of late. And Braden was interviewed after the contest by Mackenzie Hamilton.
Braden, delivering in your first postseason game, what was your mentality and this team's mentality headed into this one?
Just going out there, playing with a lot of energy, having fun, and just ultimately just winning the game, honestly, and winning every possession.
You were a big part in stopping UCF's comeback attempt. You put up 7 points in 36 seconds there in the second half. Really representative of your game this afternoon, where you seemed like you were hot from all over, 21 points, 7 for 13 from the floor. What are you seeing on the court when you're hot like that?
My teammates just finding me, putting me in positions to be successful, and then ultimately just being aggressive, and just playing basketball, hooping.
In a tournament like this where you guys have some quick turnarounds, what's your recovery routine look like?
After this, just probably just get ice and then go back to the hotel, shower up, and then use the Normatex and stuff.
You guys will face Iowa State tomorrow afternoon. It just seems like you guys face them. What do you remember most about this Cyclone team, and what's going to be key for your team facing them tomorrow?
They play great defense. They play together. I feel like if we just play together, have a lot of energy, I feel like we'll be all right.
Braden Burries leading the way offensively, 21 points. He now has 518 points this season, becoming the 8th Arizona freshman in program history to score 500-plus points. Big game off the bench again for Toby Awaka, 12 points, 12 rebounds, and he said the 7-zip run alone by Braden Burries and the Cats turning up their defense put the final touches on the win over UCF.
I think it was just defense, really, just getting stops. They have a bunch of talented guys, and kudos to them and their coach. They are instilled with just the coach to keep fighting and keep pushing, but just stay poised. Really do what got us here. Obviously we're in the postseason now, so don't try to reinvent the wheel. Just stick to what got us here. I think it was just defense, getting stops on their key guys, and then just rebounding the basketball.
Well, and guys, when you talk about the defense, and especially the defense early, because the Cats just came out and hit shots, but the first two possessions of that game, you got a block from Koa Pete, and then you got a really nice defensive stand there by Koa against a guard to stifle UCF on their first two possessions, and then you get a steal by Braden Burries. So it's, at least in the instance of yesterday, it was your two top freshmen at the defensive end of the floor that sparked what the Wildcats were able to do at the offensive end to build that early 12-point lead.
Yeah, the young guys are locked in because, again, you got the older guys out there. So who, you going to go at Jaden Bradley? You going to go at Crevis, right? So they're kind of going at the younger guys, so it opened up opportunities for those guys to make plays. They're mature from the competition that they faced, growing up, whether it be in the Olympics or whatever their high school career was. So I just think that these guys are mature. They've played a whole season where they've been starters. They understand what is expected of them, and they just brought it yesterday.
Yeah, how many teams are in Division I these days? 360?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Arizona's ranked 4th nationally in team defensive efficiency. 4th. No, but we don't talk about that enough. I mean, Arizona is one of the 5 best defensive teams in the country. And like Kelvin said right there, if you're going to pick and choose who to go against, it's going to be the less experienced players than the more experienced players. But, Koa Pete and Braden Burries and Ivan Karchenkov and Wade Aristote are all grown men. I mean, we talked about this in the preseason, DK. The physicality and the musculature of those 4 young men relative to what an average freshman at 18 comes into college looking like. They look like juniors. They stepped on campus looking like juniors. So if you have a lot of buy-in and you focus on your defensive principles and follow the game plan, I mean, that's what they're always going to do. They're always going to hang their hat on defense It's just they're also happen to be one of the 5 or 10 best offensive efficient teams in the country. So that's what sells newspapers, DK, for an old term. Your offense is going to always get the headlines, but this defense is one of the best defenses we've seen in modern Arizona history. They're going to go as far as their defense takes them.
And this defense just 11 days ago held Iowa State to just 57 points.
It's time to take our first look at today's game. Brought to you by The Window Depot. The Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindowdepot.com.
Grabbed away by Burries. Burries driving the other way. Stop. And pop a three. Left wing. Got it. There's your first Lexus of Tucson Charity 3. Braden Burries.
Rim unkind. A little tight are the shooters right now, but Braden Burries, he's loose.
Momcilovic for 3, in and out, no good. Rebound tip, grabbed by Buchanan underneath. Throw it back for Momcilovic and hits a 3 from the left corner. Cats the other way. Previs catches it inside. Double teamed right block. Jump hook over it is good.
Got to be decisive on those post catches.
Looking for some help now. Out to Bradley. Got away from Torre. Drives right of the lane. Run it up off the glass and score it. What a pretty shot from Jaden Bradley.
Houdini, he was trapped by Cyclones in the lane and snuck out of there like a magic act.
Pete down, runner, got it inside to Awaka, laid up and good. How he caught it and scored, I don't know. Pull Pete through the lane, left corner, Del Orso for 3. Why not on senior night?
Yeah, 73-57 on senior night to lock up the Big 12 Conference regular season championship. 17 by Jaden Bradley, 13 by Motias Krivas, 10 and 15 from Toby Awaka. Here's what TJ Olsberger, the head coach of the Iowa State Cyclones, had to say after the game about the loss to U of A.
I think, we became very dependent on the three-point shot based on Krivas' length and physicality at the rim, and I think we could have attacked a little bit more in the paint, but I'm not as concerned about the numbers. I know that the numbers over time work themselves out, but obviously, you don't see the ball go through early, and then you just probably get a little bit tighter as a group. I felt like we were very physical defensively. I thought we generate 15 turnovers from them on their court with their experience is great. I thought we did a great job on the offensive glass. We get the offensive rebounds. I mean, to get 15 of them and only have it translate to 5 points is the disappointing part, right? Because when you get 15 of them, you would like to at least have that many points out of them, or at least be in the double-figure range. So we left points on the board, not just from the three-point line and shooting, but I think finishing at the rim as well.
Yeah, 7 of 30 they went. They took 33s in that game, only made 7. That's 23%. And like TJ said, great on the boards offensively, but just could not get any points out of that in the contest against Arizona. Taman Lipsey, though, looking forward to round 2 today in Kansas City.
One of the best teams in the country, so obviously learned some things when we went down to their place and played them. So watching film and realizing how to attack things against them, but would be excited for it.
And they are now, again, for years, it was Arizona in Las Vegas or Los Angeles, and particularly after the Pac-12 tournament moved to Las Vegas as McHale North. Iowa State now, along with Kansas, one of the teams that's going to have the primary fan base in the building today, and Taman Lipsey looking forward to that.
It makes a huge difference, and we love it as players. We feed off of that energy that they bring, and when they're chanting Cyclone Power or whatever it is, it definitely plays a factor. I like to get the crowd up on their feet, and it's something that I enjoy doing, and we definitely use to our advantage.
Yeah, Arizona, for the second straight year, is learning how to play without that distinct home court advantage that they got used to for so many years in Las Vegas. Tommy Lloyd pointed to that as a reason that maybe they could not keep that high intensity going for the entire 40 minutes in Game 1 yesterday.
I really challenged our guys. Sometimes in these tournaments, you get in them, and I've been fortunate enough to coach in enough NCAA tournaments and conference tournaments that these early round games, it can be kind of a sterile environment, unless you're playing in your backyard and you have your entire fan base there. I think our fans all waited to buy tickets. They all assume we're going to San Diego, and so they're making a lot of assumptions now, and I think they saved all their money, and they're going there because it just didn't feel like we had a great presence in the arena today. So, you know what? Then it needs to become all about us. We need to internalize, and kind of band together and become a stronger unit, and we need to create energy for each other and draw energy off each other. I mean, in those situations. So I think it's a great lesson learned for our guys. Now listen, I'm going to give them credit for getting the lead and getting off to that great start. That was good, but yeah, it just felt like we had a little bit of a letdown, and I'm sure UCF's urgency they played with had a little bit to do with that.
So personally, I've been to about 40, 50 NCAA tournament games. And there's a universal thing that happens at every one of them. Neutral fans root for the underdog. Neutral fans in the building, there's generally 8 teams represented, if not 4. All of those fans, Kelvin, who aren't there specifically to root for Arizona, if the other team starts having some success, will uniformly root for the underdog team in the NCAA tournament. That's how it happens. So if you're used to Vegas being 40% Arizona fans and Kansas City ain't that, well, get used to it, because the NCAA tournament, Kelvin, is going to be just like that. All neutral fans will root against the top seed Arizona as soon as they start getting down. They'll root for Arizona if they're doing some fun things, but for the most part, Kelvin, we know how those neutral site games go, and it's always underdog heavy. They always love rooting for the underdog.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, you know what, that's probably a good thing. I mean, it's great to have your fans, and it's great to have, the numbers in your favor, but it's kind of cool, too, to understand that you can go into a foxhole and have to figure it out. If he said you could play on the blacktop, you could play in the alley with nobody around, no fans, kind of like COVID or whatnot. But hey, whatever it takes to get it done in any situation that your team is in, where they learn how to be tougher and they learn how to generate their own energy, because you can't always expect the fans, even if they're in your favor, to be going. You got to get yourself going. So I think that's something that's another good game. That's another good experience for these guys to be able to look back on in case they need it, because sometimes you're in a tournament game and the other team is up on you and your fans are not quite cheering and yelling. They're kind of in shock, right? Because they think, number 1 seed, we shouldn't be down. So you're going to have to generate that energy to make something happen to get that crowd back in the game.
Arizona and Iowa State tip-off coming up at 4 o'clock.
That's our first look at the game. Brought to you by the Window Depot. The Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindowdepot.com. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
And don't forget, Window Depot also sponsors our top rebounding performance every night. It's the Window Depot glass cleaner of the game. Might be the Wildcat with the most rebounds. Could be the U of A star with the most impactful boards. Might be somebody from the other team. We'll tell you the Window Depot glass cleaner of the game coming up tonight on Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, the post-game show. We will get our view from courtside out in Kansas City from the radio engineer for your Arizona Wildcats network, Kevin Curran. That is straight ahead. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Spring is in the air and our warm temperatures are about to turn hot. Now is the time to take advantage of pre-summer savings before the hot summer weather. Picturock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing is offering 5-year, no-interest financing on the installation of green HVAC systems, OAC. Call now for your free estimate, 520-492-0748, or make your appointment online at picturockscooling.com.
Picturock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
JT Auto, where their customers are family. Stop by their newest East Side location, conveniently located at 6947 East 22nd, just west of Cole. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guarantee, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where their customers are family. 372-7704. That's 372-7704. Or jtautoaz.com.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Family outgrowing your car? Hughes Federal Credit Union can help you get the car you want and the rate you need. Hughes is one of the only financial institutions in the country that doesn't switch loan rates based on a qualified buyer's credit score. That means you get our one-rate guarantee regardless of your credit score. We promise. When it's time for your next new or used car, Hughes is here to take you further. Check out our low rates on hughesfcu.org/auto and apply today. Certain restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
Supplier pricing is happening right now at O'Reilly Chevrolet during Truck Month. That means big savings across our lineup. Take up to $4,000 off the 2026 Colorado, up to $5,500 off the 2026 Silverado HD, and up to $10,000 off the 2026 Equinox EV. Supplier pricing is going on right now, so don't miss your chance to save. Find us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or visit O'Reilly.com. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
It's a full court press this March at Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. Join our $1 million March Mania promotion for your shot at $1 million with your bracket picks. Or win $100,000 with a perfect prop card now through April 6th. Swipe your Club Soul card daily for a free drawing entry. Plus, every 200 slot and table points is an additional entry. Then join us April 6th for the grand finale drawing, only at Casino del Sol, an enterprise of the Pascua Yaqui tribe.
Oh my gosh, Ted, why are you digging up the yard?
I'm looking for that stupid pipe. The bathroom drain is still clogged.
Shouldn't we call Goodfellas AC and Plumbing? You know, the professionals?
I found the pipe.
Whatever clogs your drains, leave it to the professionals at Goodfellas AC and Plumbing. The choice your family can count on for quick, reliable plumbing service using Permaliner to fix pipes and drains without digging up the yard. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Right side, Burks passed up the three. Drives inside, shot blocked by Krivas. Grabbed by Karchenkov ahead to Burries. Burries jump stop in the lane, lays it in.
Beautiful play there on both ends of the floor. Mo Creek is coming up with a second block shot, leading to a run out for Braden Burries.
It's time now for us to take you down to the front row of the arena. A view from courtside is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser serving Southern Arizona over 30 years.
All right, let's take our first trip out to Kansas City for today's Big 12 semifinal game between the Wildcats and the Iowa State Cyclones, and go down to courtside. No better view than the guy that runs the radio broadcast for Brian Jeffries and Reggie Geary. Kevin Curran sits in the third seat, and he mans the controls. Kevin is with us now. Kevin, always a great opportunity to chat with you. So obviously, Kevin, we've been talking about the breaking news, which is the change out of the floor. Tell us what you're seeing right now as you sit there courtside.
They went to whatever warehouse they stored last year's floor in, and overnight pulled out the old floor, and which meant really taking the entire arena floor down to nothing, because the glass floor pretty much ran from one set of seats to the next set of seats. So all the sideline tables got pulled up, and then the new floor got laid in, and the sideline tables were reassembled. And I got here about an hour ago, and they were still putting the finishing touches on that.
So, what was your impression of the how the floor played from what you saw?
Well, for one, you didn't hear squeaking.
Yeah.
That sound of the sneaker on the hardwood just was not there. And what creates that sound is friction. And I just am wondering if the players were not getting the friction that they're used to. And I mean, obviously the solution to that is call the football team and get them to send out some cleats, but they wouldn't have liked that on the glass floor.
We're chatting with Kevin Curran. He is the radio engineer. And you heard Kevin. I mean, he literally explained that like a professor. Kevin, can we still call you a professor? Because you did do some teaching, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Oh, most assuredly you can. I am currently on the faculty at 2 other universities, and I do have a PhD in mass communication.
Because you broke that down like somebody that has actually spent some time in a classroom. I was like, yeah, that sounds like a guy that's done some teaching before. I love the way that you put all of that. Had you heard complaints from anyone in terms of inside from being there? Did you anticipate that this might happen?
I am not surprised given the general chatter. I'm not privy to anything that Arizona might have said, but what the general chatter among the media members was that this floor was just not a good thing. The other equipment that Brian and Reggie talked about yesterday was the ball. They are using balls here. They use Nike balls at home, and some of the schools in the Big 12 use Adidas balls, including the other school up the road. And apparently that was not a problem. But if you remember the discussion of the Hall of Fame game earlier in the year against SDSU, again, it was not an Adidas or a Nike ball, and the guys were complaining about that. So, I mean, they came in concerned about the ball, and then apparently they found a reason to be concerned about the floor.
Kevin Curran is our guest. He's the broadcast engineer on the Arizona Wildcats radio network, Arizona Sports Enterprises. It is your view from courtside, and it is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Kaiser has been serving Arizona now for over 30 years. All right, Kevin, how does a professor become a radio engineer?
Actually, it's the other way around. I started hanging out in radio stations on Long Island when I was 14 years old and worked my way in the radio industry from Long Island into New York City and Washington and back to New York, and then out to Phoenix and LA and back to Phoenix. And I then moved over to TV. My first TV job was there in Tucson at KOLD. And along the way, I picked up an MBA and started teaching some business classes on the side, and had got a chance to teach at the Journalism and Mass Communication School at the other university in the Phoenix area, and had like this epiphany that a bad day teaching was beating a good day in television. And that led to the decision to go back to school to get the doctorate, and then to move into academia while maintaining this tie I have to my earliest days of my career in radio. I've been doing this sports engineering for quite some time. And, the U of A, this is my 4th season, but I've been doing spring training baseball and some of the basketball teams when they come through Tempe and Tucson for quite some time. I did 1 season with the LA Lakers and 2 seasons with the LA Kings.
Wow.
And I think the best part of my career is that each sport has a Media Hall of Fame award. Ford Frick in baseball, Foster Hewitt in hockey, Kurt Gowdy in basketball. I've worked with 2 Frick Award winners, 1 Gowdy winner, and 1 Hewitt winner.
Wow.
So I've had the opportunity to work next to and put on the air, these Hall of Fame broadcasters. And that's something that's, imagine just sitting next to Chick Hearn at a Lakers game as they go through to win the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
It's an experience that I will never forget.
Explain to people what you do when you get to the when you, what does it take to get Brian Jeffries on the air?
Well, I walk into an empty table, or in football, an empty room, and I have a case or two of various types of audio equipment. I mean, microphones, yes, but all kinds of things that connect into them. And I have to build a studio from nothing. And then make sure that I have a proper connection back to you, and that everybody in the room can hear themselves, and that if there are places in the arena where I need to get material from, that's properly connected to me. And then just make sure the game gets on the air. I will talk to JW or David back there to make sure that my levels are good, to make sure that they can understand everything that's going on, and to alert them to any potential problems. And the division of labor is that Brian and Reggie or Ryan or Lamont paints the word picture of the game. I paint the sound picture.
Kevin, JW here, real quick. I got a question. What's your favorite memory of this year, and why is it you walking the entire 100-yard football field at Casino del Sol Stadium so that we could test the remote mics?
It certainly gets my steps in. The way that the football technology has evolved, listeners may not be aware that a wireless microphone system works in what they call the UHF FM band, somewhere around where some of the police radios work. And they generate something called radio frequency, or RF energy. And when it was just a couple of broadcasters down on the field with wireless gear, it wasn't a problem. But coach comms are now wireless. There are tablet computers that are wireless. The staff at the arena is using wireless equipment. And so there's a lot of RF noise going on down there. So one of the things that I have to do with JW is take Mackenzie's equipment and literally walk from one end of the field to the other end of the field and make sure that JW can hear me clearly all the way through.
That goes something like, I'm at the 10-yard line, I'm at the 20-yard line, and so forth.
And there were some stadia where the interference is so bad that you just cannot use it.
Oh, wow.
We did go on one road trip last year where I had to make arrangements to get Mackenzie connected via what we call hardwire. Or her microphone and her headphone were literally plugged into a box down at field level and routed back up to me.
We are chatting with the legendary Kevin Curran. He is the engineer for the Arizona Wildcats radio network, Arizona Sports Enterprises. It is Your View from Courtside. It's brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. Kaiser has been serving Arizona for more than 30 years. And the great thing is you get to travel. That's always one of the great things about broadcast engineering. You get to go to all these different places. What are your opinions of Kansas City, Kevin?
Well, Wilbur Harrison said there were crazy living women here, but as a married man, I can't go looking for them.
Did you go looking for any barbecue?
I did. There was, when we were here last year, the staff at the hotel recommended a barbecue place that was off the end of the streetcar line that was very good. So that was nice. And, just the city itself, the city has a remarkable history back in the 1930s as part of the post-Depression rebuild. They established some like municipal corporation or something and built these grand edifices of a city hall and a county courthouse and the arena where the Kansas City Kings used to play. So you've got all of these great 1930s buildings and then all of the modern stuff around it. And downtown is very compact, and they have this really neat streetcar line that runs up and down the main drag. Now it's been expanded from the University of Missouri Kansas City all the way up to the riverfront. Makes getting around incredibly easy.
Kevin, I'm going to ask you a question that probably only you and I will understand. As somebody that's had a minimal knowledge of working in the broadcast industry and having to set up his own ball games and all of that. Did you ever work with a Marty?
Yes, but not for sports.
Oh, wow. Okay.
When I was in local radio and we would do remote broadcasts, the Marty unit was what we used.
Oh, there you go.
At one station, I had a van with a pneumatic mast and a 6-beam antenna, and I would pull up at the side of the remote and lift up the mast and turn it in the direction of the station's transmitter and fire up the Marty and, come down here and win a T-shirt.
There you go. The good old days. I think I did a high school football game. My station was in Porterville. It was just outside of Bakersfield, which was about the edge of the limit that the Marty could reach, could point up and reach back to the mountain, and was able to get a high school football game out of there. I was like, this is some incredible technology here that we're working with. It probably doesn't exist anymore, but it was fun back in the day. Kevin, enjoy the travels of the postseason, and we'll look forward to hearing the sound that you create coming up here at about 3:30.
You got it. Thanks, guys.
Kevin Curran, that is your view from courtside.
We hope you enjoyed your view from courtside. It was brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser has been serving Southern Arizona for over 30 years.
Every day is a balancing act, with work, family, goals, all asking for more. It helps to have tools that meet you at every step and a team that will always be by your side. We're ICCU. We're a credit union that has been helping members achieve financial success since 1940. In fact, we put members' success first, one by one, year after year, for 85 years and counting. Now, we're here for you, Tucson. Join us, ICCU.
Everyone loves to get together for food, fun, and sports. But what's the best spot? I'm Josh Bishop, owner of Fork and Fire, Catalina, and Oro Valley. My brother, best friend, and I have been cooking for one another and for our neighbors for years, and we get to live our passion every day at Fork and Fire. At our Catalina Grill, you'll love the elevated bar fare and barbecue, served in our relaxed and fun neighborhood grill. Fork and Fire Catalina, where great food meets good times and a strong community. Bring everyone on down to Fork and Fire in Catalina and Oro Valley.
So, what is it that scares you the most?
The blue trucks from Essential Pest Control, Doctor. They leave bugs belly up.
I use one of those national companies.
Thanks, Doc. Those guys don't scare me.
Spring is bug season. Go blue with Essential Pest Control. We'll eliminate those bugs, bees, and termites. Buy local and stop paying too much with those national providers. Essential Pest Control is a bug's worst nightmare.
I can't sleep at night.
Essential Pest Control. Call 866-3029. That's 866-3029. Or visit essentialpest.com.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Coach, Tommy Lloyd here with the Right Way team.
Great news. Free furnace season has been extended through the end of March. Have you been thinking about replacing your heating and cooling system this year? To spark business, we're giving away an 80% gas furnace or a heat pump air handler with the purchase of a new air conditioning system.
And we're offering up to 60 months no interest financing, manufacturer and energy efficiency rebates, and 10-year parts and labor warranty.
Call or text 520-200-2422 to book your free estimate today or visit rightwayac.com.
If it's worth doing, do it the right way.
Discover your perfect vehicle at Cactus Auto, Tucson's trusted destination for certified pre-owned cars for over 30 years. They offer a wide range of certified pre-owned vehicles featuring the brands and models you love. Their finance experts are here to provide you with top dollar trade-in offers and help you find the best financing options, regardless of your credit history. With approved credit, enjoy no payments for up to 90 days. Trust Cactus Auto for quality, affordable pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, all backed by incredible savings and a 7-day exchange guarantee. Visit cactusauto.com.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
Why do I spend so much time educating our youth about financial wellness? I have seen the fire ignite inside of young adults when I show them how the power of compound investing can change their futures. This is Natalie Fernandez at Meridian Wealth Management, and I'm committed to affecting change with our youth. An idea for all of you listening today: gift a Roth IRA contribution for the holidays or birthdays for your kids and grandkids. Contact our office at 520-719-1433 for guidance and details. The change begins with us.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Bradley down into the lane, lay it up and good. Previous turnaround jump hook is good. Del Orso springs a 3 out there and drains it. Milwaukee takes away the rebound and slams it home. It's a man's game.
Bear down, Cats. Our window depot coverage of University of Arizona basketball continues with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We are counting down to tip off for Arizona Wildcats basketball. This is Wildcats Radio, 1290.
That's the other way. Bradley to a trailing Koa. Pete put it on the floor, drive the lane to the bucket, and lay it in. They can't stop him.
They're not going to stop him. They're not going to guard him right there. No one guarding him at the top of the key.
7 for Pete here in the first half.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, hour number 2 of our pregame show for today. We've got a spotlight on a cat coming up, brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Ryan Hansen caught up Dwayne Aristode, who is now back from his illness. We'll hear from Dwayne, how he fought through that and coming back. DK sort of with TL. TL is on the road, and we will, though, give you a question that I might have asked him had I been in a press conference with him this week. That is presented by Hughes Federal Credit Union. We'll get your scouting report on the Iowa State Cyclones. Just saw them a few weeks ago. We talked to John Walters, their radio guy. We'll talk to the gentleman who sits in the analyst seat on the radio side for the Cyclones, Eric Heft, will join us as presented by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Pest of the game will be that Cyclone that gets underneath the Wildcats' skin today. Essential Pest Control brings you that segment. Can we beat the book? Over at the Casino del Sol, Sol Sports. U of A, just a 3.5-point favorite in this game. Low over-under, because we've seen some low-scoring games in this tournament. I think they finally figured out nobody's getting up to 160 combined points this weekend in Kansas City. So your over-under today is 143.5 between the Wildcats and the Cyclones. Royal Automotive has your keys to the game, what we think the Wildcats need to do to win today, and your starting lineup as presented by Rocking K. We'll also check in a little bit later on your availability report, which is sponsored by Nobody.
First matchup was 130, by the way.
Between these two teams.
Yeah, 73-57.
Yeah, there you go. It was, 57 points is all Iowa State was able to get in that matchup. All right, let us shine a spotlight on one of your Arizona Wildcats.
Our pregame show, Spotlight on a Cat, is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Dwayne Aristode, back from his illness. He's averaging 4 points this season. He has 8 assists over the last 3 games. So he has been a contributor since coming back into the lineup. And he's been one of the better percentage 3-point shooters on this team this year, 28 of 62.
And a very good on-ball defender.
Yeah, 45% from behind the arc. And as J-Dub just mentioned there, he can also defend with the best of them. Ryan Hansen caught up with the freshman, Dwayne Aristo.
Couple of minutes with Arizona freshman Dwayne Aristo. Now, just for a moment, take me back. Cats clinched the Big 12 championship. How did that feel just to reach that successful moment this part of the season?
It was something we had in our sight since the beginning of the year. I'm not surprised, by, our results, obviously being champions. It was great to win it on our home floor with the home fans, obviously. But, we got bigger goals ahead. Obviously we got to be grateful, so we got to celebrate it at that time. But, now we just got to stay in the present and work towards our bigger goals.
How did it feel to be a big part of that game? Because you had extended minutes for the first time in a while. How did that feel?
Felt regular. I just went out there and do what I got to do. So, that's pretty much what I did. So, nothing major.
During your time away, was it a good opportunity for you kind of assess where you're at in your freshman year? And when you got back, do you feel like you were back energized and ready to go?
I kind of felt the same. I ain't feel any different. I'm gonna be really honest right here.
Yep.
So yeah, I just he gave me opportunity, so I just did what I had to do. So that's pretty much it.
Tell me a little bit about Jaden Bradley, your leader, your point guard. Talk about how nice it is to have a guy as veteran and as mature as he is.
Mm-hmm. It's great to have a point guard like that. Obviously he's talented. Vocal. And always keeps us going and tells us what it is. So kind of him having always on the court, and when things go wrong, he kind of settles it down. Gives us clarity. So I think he helps us a lot with it.
Your defense off the bench, especially against Iowa State, you were guarding one of the best shooters in the country. Just kind of walk through the mentality that you have to be the defender that you are.
I think in my life, I always, just as offense, my dad taught me defense is just as important as well. In that game, I just, obviously went off the coach's counter, but also went off my own instincts and his instincts, and he's a great player, and I just knew where to be at what times, and run him off the line, and take his strengths away.
That's today's Spotlight on a Cat, brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
All right, Dwayne Aristo, who comes off the bench for your Arizona Wildcats. A few of the bench guys got in yesterday, although, guys, Ceedy got in early and got beat real quick on two different plays at the defensive end of the floor. And it was not – when you come in not ready to play defense in this system for Tommy Lloyd, it's not likely going to be a real long afternoon for you as a sub.
Not if there's other options, Kelvin.
Yeah, not if there's other options, man. And you have to be locked in and understanding that he's trying to trust you. Again, I was in some of them situations as a young guy, and you don't realize that, sometimes you don't understand that you don't have the leash that some of the starters have, because you think, okay, now I'm in, he'll give me a chance to warm up. No, he won't. You have to be ready to go right when you get in there, or you will be replaced like that. And it's just a good learning lesson that one day he's going to be a starter, and that rope will be a little bit longer, but he's being taught the right way that, hey, you got to come in balling right off the top.
If you had not joined us earlier, the big news obviously today in Kansas City is the replacement of the glass floor with hard wood for the semifinal games today. There'll be two. Houston will play Kansas in the second game of the evening in Kansas City. The winners today will play tomorrow for the championship. That'll be a 3 o'clock game, tip-off time, Tucson time on Saturday if the Wildcats do advance. Loki Bojangles checks in on our YouTube channel. He said, somebody always has to decide to change things. Why did we need a glass floor? What was wrong with the wood floor? Somebody said, let's use glass. No problem. Why? Well, that guy was Brett Yormark, and there was a lot of money involved in that. So do you think he's got to give back the Windex money now that the floor is gone?
I mean, I'm sure that they will get the money that the contract stipulated for. I like innovation. I just think that there should be checks and balances that go into a lot of the thought process before. How about this, DK? How about you take, 20 guys and you run them up and down, winner stays on the court type of situation, and you have them test it out for a couple of hours. That's not a sanctioned, nationally televised situation. I think that, and get the input from the players.
Did you hear that? We played his press conference, a little bit of his press conference the other day, and then the one reporter asked him, he asked all the reporters that asked about the court, do you like it? And the one guy said, well, he kind of whispered something, and he said, I didn't hear you. And he said, well, the ball goes in the basket. As if I think that was a polite way of him saying, yeah, I'm not about this, but, whatever.
The problem is that Commissioner Yormark is great, and he comes from the business side of things, but he speaks in that corporate jargon where it's all about synergy and corporate synergy and all that stuff. And obviously, with the way that modern athletics works, especially in college athletics, DK, it's so important to have that kind of connectivity with corporations and with those partners. So it's not necessarily a bad thing to innovate. Just don't innovate at the expense potentially of the athlete's health going into the NCAA tournament.
Loki Bojangles goes on to say it would be nice to make a few more free throws. Wildcats did, two Wildcats missed several. Toby missed 7.
And Toby had a bad day
in the game, and Motias missed 4. So that's 11 combined between your two big men. You don't want the game to be lost because of free throws, but I have no doubt I feel this is the year when watching them since college. He's been watching the Wildcats since his college days in 1973, and he feels like this is the year the Wildcats get it in. We
Real
appreciate
quick,
you, Loki Bojangles.
Kelvin, as per the usual, when big men are stiff on their free throw form, it tends to be a little bit flat and tends to back rim, front rim type of thing. And I did notice that Tobe just needs to bend his legs a little bit and shoot that standard form all the way from your ankles to your gooseneck. A couple of those shots yesterday, especially those 2 that he took with the dead lane where they had the flagrant foul and Tobe took 2 shots with nobody on the lane. Those 2, to me, Kelvin, just looked a little bit flat. Just looked like he didn't quite get the bend he needed to get that flow all the way through his body.
Yeah, and usually that's that energy, man. He's a tough guy. His emotions probably are a little high because they want to play well on that stage. So I think they'll be a little bit more settled down today, and we'll see what they look like today.
All right, we heard earlier a little bit from Tommy Lloyd just on obviously a different atmosphere in Kansas City than maybe the Wildcats are used to when their fans have dominated a conference tournament for many years out west. This is maybe one of the downsides of the fact that the Wildcats are no longer in a Western-based conference. They're in a more Central-based conference in the Big 12, and you can't get in your car and drive 6. It's a little bit longer. It takes a little bit longer than 6 hours to get to Kansas City than it did to a place like Las Vegas. Tommy Lloyd was asked recently to compare the Pac-12 tournament to the Big 12 tournament.
You got to understand, the Pac-12 tournament was in Las Vegas. So it was McHale North. So we were Iowa State. We were Kansas. So, it obviously feels really different for us now. But listen, it's what we signed up for. So there's no complaints. I mean, I'm not going to be bitter towards Iowa State fans or Kansas fans who are coming and supporting their team. I mean, it's not an easy haul to get from Tucson to Kansas City. So, we have an amazing fan base. Looks like the tournament's going to be here for a while. So I think we better figure out how to win in Kansas City. I mean, that's where my mind's at.
I mean, more so on the competitiveness of the team. Not just being in the conference.
Well, I mean, it's a monster. I mean, we've been in it 2 years. Every game's tough. You see UCF coming out today. I think, what are they, the 8 seed? And they're a really good team that's going to be in the NCAA tournament. Like, there's no easy games, and the other team always has a lot of talent and is well coached, and we understand that. We understand that. We respect it, and we enjoy the competition and love the opportunities.
And we mentioned earlier in the week on the local show that Greg Hansen, longtime columnist for the Daily Star, wrote a little bit of an article this week suggesting that maybe the conference. And look, it's a valid. What he said was very valid. I mean, I absolutely agree that this tournament probably should not be in one place.
Kansas City,
you should
Dallas,
move it around
Vegas.
The footprint. Yeah, he said Salt Lake City, Denver, Dallas, Las Vegas, among places.
It's no
that you could take this tournament.
It's no mystery that Commissioner Yormark announced a new 6-year extension through 2031. Like, that happened right after the Pac-12 schools joined, like right after last year.
Yeah. Here is what Tommy had to say about the potential of the Big 12 of possibly moving to different locations.
Listen, you guys are asking a lot of questions here. I want to talk about the ball game. 100%. Would I want this in Vegas? Yeah, 100% I will. But, you know what? I didn't ask to be in the Big 12. We got put in the Big 12. I didn't have any input on it, but I love being in the Big 12. So if they tell me we're playing in Kansas City, we're loading up the plane and going to Kansas City. We're not going to sit there and overthink it. And you guys can do all that stuff, or you can have another coach give you opinions on what he would want. I just want to get on the floor and try to kick ass and play 40 minutes. That's it.
Kick ass and play 40 minutes.
Guys, what I like about love about him is that's kind of always been my attitude, man. I didn't really care for much of all the stuff that surrounds it. I care about, the game and getting it done and competing, and getting ready for the next game, and so it's so cool to listen to Tommy Lloyd and see people accept him for who he is, man, because a lot of times people will say, oh, you're supposed to be entertaining us and giving us, things that we can write about or whatnot, and so, sometimes he may seem like a terrible interview, but for guys like me, he's very refreshing.
It's a great life lesson too, fellas. I mean, control the controllables is great for college athletics, but it's also great just as a philosophy to go through life. I mean, the more time and effort and energy we put into things that we have zero control over, the more time we're not focused on things that we do and choices that we make. So everybody's playing on the same court. Everybody's playing in the same city, right? And if they ask the coaches, let's vote on what city to hold the Big 12 tournament in next year, then you can ask that question. But he's just answering it, Kelvin, like, hey, we're here because that's where the tournament is. We don't, of course, we would like to have more of our fans be able to travel, or more of our fans like we did in Las Vegas. But right now, the tournament through 2031 is in Kansas City. We're here to play basketball and do our best and try to win the tournament.
Well, we loaded up the plane and we moved to Kansas City, Missouri, that is. Barbecue and Pat Mahomes. You see Pat sitting courtside early in the tournament?
Yes.
All right, Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. We've got much more coming up. DK with TL is next. Scoreboard as well. Looking at Tennessee and Vanderbilt up on the screen in the SEC quarterfinals right now.
Can we talk about Auburn?
Auburn, yes, we can talk about
15-loss.
Can we talk
Auburn?
about Bruce Pearl yelling behind the bench?
I heard the greatest thing was because Bruce Pearl's now doing commentary that eventually, he'll be put in a commentary where he has to call a Miami of Ohio game, potentially versus Auburn. That would just be the best spectacle ever.
Everybody wants to see a first four game between Miami and Auburn. That's the game of choice right there. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day continues after this timeout. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. Hour 2 of the pregame show is brought to you by Bear Down Roofing, Dorado Rock, Essential Pest Control, Goodfellas AC, Hughes Federal Credit Union, Johnson Manley Company, JT Auto, Lexus of Tucson, Mr. Rooter, Recon Auto Detail, Rightway Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Rocking K, a master planned community designed by nature, Factory Direct Mattress, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Hi, this is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management. As a boutique fiduciary investment firm, our clients have trusted us to guide them down their financial paths for decades. Whether you are an individual or family, business, foundation, or nonprofit, we are committed to your long-term goals and financial futures. We are proud supporters of the Tucson community and all that makes our city so special. Visit online at meridianwealthllc.com to learn more about Meridian today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
From offices and warehouses to retail spaces and restaurants, the right lighting transforms your environment. At Arizona Commercial Lighting, we've been proudly locally owned and operated for nearly 40 years. Our extensive inventory of in-stock lighting solutions is designed to meet both commercial and residential needs, with quality, variety, and value you won't find anywhere else. Visit us at 1436 East 17th Street or explore our offerings online at azcommerciallighting.com. Be sure to ask about available TEP rebates. Arizona Commercial Lighting, powering business through precision lighting.
Morning begins in the Rincon Foothills. Rocking K, a master-planned community and place to call home, offering distinct neighborhoods designed to fit your lifestyle. Explore the outdoors, walk the trails, visit Saguaro National Park. Enjoy community parks and make new friends at Rocking K resident events. Walk to Vail School District's newest campus in Rocking K Saguaro Creek, 17 model homes, 6 quality builders, move-in ready homes available from the 300s. Rocking K, designed by nature. A community by design.
Up your game in a new Buick or GMC from Royal Buick GMC. At Royal, we always deliver a quality vehicle at a great price. Score a great deal with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff and our transparent online pricing. Plus, Royal offers a 72-hour buyback guarantee. Score big at Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. See dealer for details. Royal Buick GMC in the Tucson Auto Mall or RoyalTucson.com.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care with Mad March savings all month long. Now's the time to save big with big deals on major brand tires like the long-lasting, quiet-riding Michelin Defender 2 and slam dunk savings on automotive repairs with big rebates up to $100. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's 14 convenient locations are ready to assist on your next championship drive. Check out jackfurriers.com for even more savings. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Oh, no, not the sink. Not now.
Plumbing issues can put your life on pause. But with anytime emergency scheduling, the neighborly done right promise, and more, Mr. Rooter Plumbing will have your life flowing again in no time.
All fixed. Much better.
Mr. Rooter is proud to cheer on the Cats. Mention this ad for 10% off any plumbing service. A win for the whole family. Bear down, Arizona.
Mr. Rooter Plumbing, a neighborly company.
It's your time to shine. This is Desert Diamond Casino, the spot with Arizona's only hometown sportsbook, the hottest slots and tables, and off-the-charts energy you won't find anywhere else. Here, there's always a fun-filled, action-packed, downright unforgettable night right around the corner. So let your hair down, turn the sparkle all the way up. It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino.
An enterprise of the Thana Ogden Nation.
Are you planning a home renovation? Getting quotes on windows, doors, cabinets, countertops, or flooring? Before you commit, visit the Window Depot and make sure you're not overpaying. The Window Depot is your one-stop shop for top quality products at the lowest prices. We're locally owned and operated with no installers and no middlemen, so you save big. Perfect for DIYers, contractors, and homeowners. Visit a location near you or shop online at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Feet ahead to Pete, left of the lane. Mismatch there, folks on him. Pete spin move, puts it up off the glass, good, and he is fouled.
Really nice player there by Koa Pete. Good recognition by Karchikovs with the smaller defender on Pete. Pete with a quick baseline spin, able to power through the ball for the finish, and that's how he needs to be. Anytime there's one-on-one opportunities, look for him to be aggressive.
Koa Pete defended early, scoring again for your Arizona Wildcats in that win yesterday. One of 3 freshmen in the country this year, Koa Pete, that has 75 assists, 20 block shots, and 20 steals. He's the only one that's done that in that group of freshmen, while also shooting more than 50% from the floor. Koa Pete this year. Good stuff there. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program here. If you'd like to give us your thoughts on what you've seen from this Arizona Wildcats team thus far through the first game of this tournament. Second game today. If they win, they'll play a third game tomorrow. K-Dub, our guy, he checked in on the show and says that KC doesn't even have the best barbecue. Overrated. Move the tourney to Vegas. Civilized fan bases will thank you.
Yeah, I mean, those are fighting words, right? Like, I mean, people take that very seriously. I know there's a lot of fans in North Carolina. It's more Virginia, vinegar-based.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean,
I personally have
Texas,
never had Kansas City barbecue, so I don't know.
Kelvin,
I'd
you want to
love
weigh in?
Yeah.
You know it's Texas right here, baby.
Yeah, of course. We already knew that.
You know it.
We know Kelvin's vote is going to be Texas. I think I've met more people that like Texas over, but hey, I mean, Kansas City's famous for its barbecue for a reason. I just think there's different styles. Doesn't mean one's better than the other, but people who are from that place, DK, people who are from the regions, question like, what's better, Sonoran food or food from Mexico City? Well, people from Tucson are probably going to tell you Sonoran food. So it's just like that.
All right, let's hear from the head coach of your Arizona Wildcats.
For all the questions you need answered, it's DK with TL. Our David Kelly asks Tommy Lloyd questions, and you get the answers. DK with TL is sponsored by Hughes Federal Credit Union. Hughes Federal Credit Union. We take you further.
All right, DK sort of with TL. I did not ask him this question in the press conference earlier this week before the team left for Kansas City. But I might have, because it floats around a topic that we've discussed all year, and that's the ceiling for this team. Now, here's my thing with Arizona basketball, and if you've been following me for the 18 years that I've been covering this program, I have what I call my levels of expectations. I keep saying I'm just going to put this out somewhere where you can just go grab it. I'll just point you to a link, and you can go to it to see what my level of expectations are for every single one of the programs that Arizona Athletics puts out there. And my expectations for the men's basketball program is the Sweet 16. And so for me, like, if the Wildcats get to the Sweet 16, to me, it's a successful season. And I understand this is a program that has not been to the Final Four in 25 years. There's a frustration with that. You had a number of teams, 3 teams, I believe, during the Sean Miller era that got to the Elite Eight and could not get past that point to get back to the Final Four. Tommy has been, in his 4 seasons, has been to the Sweet 16 3 times. They crashed out in round 1 in Sacramento, and I had to stay an extra night and spend St. Patrick's Day in old Sacramento, which, wasn't a bad thing. But so there's a lot of people that believe that he has not gotten this team far enough. So for me, I say every year, if the Wildcats get to the Sweet 16, I'm happy. Do I want to see them get further than that? Absolutely. But it's a successful season for me regardless, as long as they get to that particular point. Now, this is a team that many people believe is good enough and should go to the Final Four. So how is Tommy Lloyd dealing with that level of expectation?
I would just say this, I live this life and I've chosen this profession and I know what comes with it. Obviously we have big dreams and big goals, and I know how narratives get created. But I know most of the people creating those narratives, they don't have to live what I live, So, they got a million different things going on in their life. I'm just a basketball coach. And so I know ultimately as a coach, you get to Final Fours, you win championships, you're in a certain club. You don't, then you're the guy who couldn't win the big one. And I know that, and that's to me really lazy and easy to do. So I don't pay no mind to it. I want to be a great coach. And most of all, I want our teams to be successful, for the players and for the community. I mean, that's my driving force. And I'll say, if we fall short or something like that ever happens, I'm tough enough to handle it, and I love my job enough to get back up and do it again.
And those are the questions that you needed answered. DK with TL is sponsored by Hughes Federal Credit Union. Hughes Federal Credit Union. We take you further. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com.
Kind of sounded like that mob line there. I chose this profession. From Tommy Lloyd right there. It is Radio Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, getting you set for the Wildcats and the Iowa State Cyclones. We are now 2 hours away from tip-off at the T-Mobile Arena in Kansas City. My name is David Kelly. I've got Calvin Efon. I got J.W. Madden. We've got you on the phones at 520-848-1290 and or via text, or download the Wildcats Radio 1290 app. You can interact with the show in all of those different platforms. Guys, the expectations of this team are extremely high. And to me, again, I don't know that the disappointment, is it going to be any more if they don't get to the Elite Eight? That's I asked somebody that question who constantly rags on this program this week. I said, is it a disappointing season if they get to the Elite Eight, which will be a step further than they've gotten with this particular head coach? And he flipped the question back on me and said, well, do you think that's a disappointment? And the answer is no, I don't. I don't think it's a disappointment if they get to the Elite Eight, but don't get to the Final Four.
K-Rock?
Yeah, if these were the type of teams that, like back in the day where everybody stayed together 3 and 4 years, we have 4 freshmen on this team. And I understand they don't look like freshmen. I understand they haven't played like freshmen, but we still haven't got to that stage. It was refreshing to see those guys play well on the stage in the Big 12, but the NCAAs is a whole nother stage. So yeah, I'm excited to see how those guys play. Yes, they've matured during the season, but at the end of the day, it's still going to be their first time doing that. So playing on that type of stage in that arena. So that's going to be exciting. But with that being said, man, to me, it has to be a Sweet 16, man. I've been there, made it to a Sweet 16, lost to Kansas. And it gets tough when you get right there because you're playing a Kansas. You're playing a Connecticut. You never know who you'll run to at that stage in the tournament. So, yeah, man, it just gets tough right there, man. Again, if you was together 2 and 3 years, 4 years, which we have a few guys that been together that long, but imagine Krivas didn't play last year. Walker's coming off the bench. He played. He was here last year, but now he's coming off the bench. I mean, so same as Del Arso. This is only his second year, so it's not like we got guys that are veteran guys where you said this group should get to a Final Four because they've been together for so long.
I think expectations are great for dumb fans and dumb commentators for pregame shows like us. But DK, the last thing you want is Jamel Horn thinking, if I miss this three-pointer, I'm a failure. That cannot be the mindset that a player has going into a tournament like this. It's the mindset that these guys have said in every single pregame, every single postgame. What do they say? Every single game is a new experience. Every play is a new play. It's game to game. It's play to play. If the thought process going into this tournament from those 8 players in the rotation and any of those guys on the bench and the coaching staff is, if we lose in the first round, we're a failure. If we lose in the second round, we're a failure. You can't. Let history decide that. You understand? The mindset for the players has to be one play at a time, trust our game plan, trust the mechanics that we've developed over decades of practicing as individuals. The mindset for fans is great. It's been I was there for the first one and the second one and the third one and the fourth one and the fifth one every 4 years, right? Up until 2001. Yes, it's been a minute. 5 Elite Eights, by the way, in the last 25 years. 5 Elite Eights they've been to and not gotten over that hump. But this year's team, like Kelvin just said, has all the pieces. They have all the pieces to make a deep run, but they have to approach it as, let's not get down by 10 points in the first round. That's what the 97 team did. They were down by 10 points in that first round game. Could have flamed out as well. You just got to take it possession by possession, game by game, and just trust what you've been doing all season long.
All right, real quick, let's go to the phones. 520-848-1290 and hear from John. You're on Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, the pregame show.
So everything you just said, I echo with the exception of, and, maybe Kelvin, you take a little bit of exception with me, but to me, it's Elite Eights. If you get to the Elite Eight and you're playing for a chance to go to the Final Four, you're relevant. Your season is relevant. I understand the Sweet 16, but we're a program that plays for Final Fours. We play for, and to me,
but you haven't been to a Final Four in 25 years, John. You can't play. You can't play for Final Four until if you consistently went to the Elite Eight. I would say that, but this is not a program you've been to the Elite Eight 3 times since I've been here. That's 18 years.
When those Miller teams were 2 shots away, 1 possession away, both times from a Final Four. So those seasons, to me, that was the definition of relevance. If you're playing for a chance to go to a Final Four, I think that I have zero complaints about that season. Conference championships I admire; they're great. But Final Fours is what I was brought up with every 4 years. So it created an expectation for those of us fans that have been around a long time, guys.
John, I appreciate your call and your thought there. 520-848-1290. That's how you get in on the program. Share your thoughts on Arizona Wildcats basketball. We'll head back to Kansas City and get our scouting report on Iowa State. That is next. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
It's a full court press this March at Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. Join our $1 million March Mania promotion for your shot at $1 million with your bracket picks. Or win $100,000 with a perfect prop card, now through April 6th. Swipe your Club Soul card daily for a free drawing entry. Plus, every 200 slot and table points is an additional entry. Then join us April 6th for the grand finale drawing, only at Casino del Sol, an enterprise of the Pasquayaki tribe.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
The Target, 422 Maple Drive. No tripped alarms, no broken windows. While you were sleeping, they made off with $50,000 in equity, and they didn't even use a getaway car.
Nate here, owner of Blue Sky Pest Control. Don't let termites turn your equity into sawdust. We stop the heist before the damage is done. Call 520-201-2000 for your free termite inspection. Hello, Blue Sky. Goodbye, termites.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Dunright Services, Tucson's trusted provider for air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical needs, is hiring. Dunright Services is hiring talented and motivated individuals for manager and supervisory positions, as well as electrical, HVAC, and plumbing technicians. Dunright Services offers competitive salaries, health and dental benefits, generous PTO, a company vehicle, and advancement and leadership opportunities. Join the Dunright Services team today. Fill out an online application at dunrightservices.com.
It's Truck Month at O'Reilly Chevrolet, and supplier pricing is going on right now. That means huge savings on some of our most popular vehicles. Get up to $12,475 off the 2026 Silverado LD, up to $7,500 off the 2025 Blazer EV, and up to $2,500 off the 2026 Traverse. Truck Month is happening now, so don't miss out. Find us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or go to O'Reilly.com. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Back your hometown favorite. Get your very own exclusive University of Arizona debit card from Hughes Federal Credit Union. Pair your new card with a free checking account that earns dividends. With no monthly fees, no minimum balance, and convenient 24/7 online and mobile banking. Visit one of our 7 convenient branch locations to get your card instantly, or open an account online at hughesfcu.org/wildcats. Show your Wildcat spirit all year long with Hughes Federal Credit Union. Certain restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. 2 powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
Advantage Air Mechanical, the team you can trust. Call 792-9400.
When it comes to the comfort and indoor air quality of your home and office, Advantage Air Mechanical has you covered. Breathing healthy air and having reliable air conditioning is important. If you or someone you know is in need of air conditioning services or a new system installation, we are here to help. Advantage Air Mechanical, 792-9400. AZROC 214570.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Pick it out. Yvonne. Back to Mo, left of the lane. Spin move there. Bounce pass. There's Koa Pete to slam it home.
Mo Previs, the playmaker, with the baseline quick spin, creates a double team, dumps it off to Pete for the dunk. Beautiful play there by the big fella.
Time now for a look at today's Wildcat opponent. The Scouting Report is brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier, since 1960. Here to get you there.
Number 2, Arizona. Number 7, Iowa State in the Big 12 Conference Semifinals in Kansas City. Let's head back out to the T-Mobile Arena and get an update on what's happening with the Cyclones, who we just saw 12 days ago here in Tucson. Eric Heft is the analyst on the radio broadcast for the Cyclones with our guy John Walters, who we talked to before the game here in Tucson. Eric, appreciate the chance to get to know you. I mean, I don't think anybody knows more about Cyclone basketball than you. You have been around, my understanding, is for over 30 years on the radio team.
This is year 47, actually.
Oh, my gosh.
I started when I was 7, so I'm not that old. So.
So give me a synopsis then of ISU basketball. Because you, over the years, you played there in the early 1970s, right?
You know, the first game at Hilton Coliseum was against Arizona, which was my first game.
Oh, wow.
So that was December 1971.
Oh,
so,
man.
Yeah, it was great. You guys were in the WAC back then, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, a lot has changed since then. Evolution of Iowa State basketball has been terrific. You know, we've had some good runs over the years, but this run over the past 5 years with TJ has just been outstanding. He's done a great job finding fits for the way he wants to play, and he's been able to do it on maybe not the biggest budget, but he's got good players, and man, do they play hard.
Okay, I got to test your memory, Eric. So do you remember who you guarded in that game?
Hey, guys, how we doing? I do not. I just know we won by 14, you know. So.
And how many did you score that night?
I don't know. It was my first game. I think I had maybe 6 or 8, something like that. So,
all right.
Yeah, I was working my way into the lineup.
There you go. And who knew then where you would be today, still involved with the program all these years later. Eric, I want to get just obviously the big story of the day is the changing out of the floor, going back to hardwood. What was your perception of yesterday? I mean, you guys have played 2 games on it, how it played, and what you saw.
Well, I'll say this. We won those 2 games by a combined 71 points, so you would think I would have liked it. But no, not at all. Especially yesterday, man, it seemed to get slipperier over the course of the day, and guys were, trying to make cuts. I mean, teams were really digging in, and when you really dig in and try to cut, and if there's any slickness to the court, man, it really shows. And then I think the crowning blow was when Christian Anderson came down and kind of did the splits. You just can't afford to have any of these players for all these great teams out for the NCAA tournament. Hopefully Christian's okay, but I think that was the final straw. But it needed to happen, and I'm not opposed to the fact they tried it. I also give them credit for saying, "Hey, this isn't working." So let's go back to hardwood's always been pretty good, and I think it'll be good tonight.
Eric Heft is our guest. It's your scouting report brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier since 1960 here to get you there. Eric Heft, the radio analyst for the Iowa State Cyclones. Okay, so one of the topics of conversation that we've been talking about on our pregame today is obviously this is the second year for Arizona in playing in this tournament at this location. It is not obviously travel friendly for this fan base. They got used to being able to get in your car and drive 6 hours or get on a plane and fly an hour to Las Vegas, and that's clearly evident because there's not a lot of U of A people in the building. On the flip side, this is what we experienced in Las Vegas is very similar to what you guys experienced. This is a very drivable event for the Iowa State fan base. So as somebody that's played in this building in this tournament, what is that like for Iowa State's people to be able to be a part of this tournament in Kansas City?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's kind of like spring break for our fans. They come down here. People love Kansas City. It's 2.5 hours from Des Moines, 3 hours from Ames. People all over the state. We have a lot of fans regionally as well. it's kind of a spring rite of passage, and they don't call it Hilton South for nothing. I mean, these fans will turn out in droves. If Kansas had lost last night, there would be even more Iowa State fans here but Iowa State and Kansas are the two predominant fan bases here at the T-Mobile Center, and it'll be a raucous environment for sure.
Would you be opposed to this at some point when this contract is over, them moving this around to different cities throughout the footprint?
We've tried it. We were in Dallas for a couple years, Oklahoma City, and it's just not the same. I mean, the support, it gets lost. Oklahoma City couldn't quite support it well enough. Here, everything's sold out all the time. It's well attended. It's well run here, and the history and tradition. If they move it, we'll go wherever. But as far as I'm concerned, and I think Commissioner Yormark I think that was his original intention, was to move it around a little bit. But after he's seen what Kansas City has done and what this tournament is, it's the best college tournament, in part because it's in the same place every year. And so I appreciate your concern. I mean, because it is an advantage. There's no getting around it. But, from our perspective, we're happy just keeping it right here.
Joshua Jefferson, the last time around, Eric, was held to 12 points in the game here in Tucson. What did you see that? He was 2 for 17, one of his worst shooting games of the season. How was Arizona, in your mind, able to take him out of his game that night?
One thing, you got good players. Really good players, and you've got size. His ability to finish around the basket with Krivas inside and Koa and whoever else you bring in. You've got guys that can bother him a little bit. But then he wasn't on his A game that day. He's been on his A game the first two here. Now he hasn't faced the competition he'll face tonight, but. I think the thing for Iowa State will be to try to find ways to finish. Iowa State had 15 offensive rebounds in Tucson the other day, but it only had 5 second chance points. And part of that was because of your rim protection, but Iowa State missed a bunch of those. They didn't shoot it well from three. Those things are going to have to be better. And a lot of that has to do with Joshua. He's averaging 5 assists per game. He's so good at finding other people. But Iowa State, I think that's going to be really big here tonight. I think the matchup between Jaden Bradley, and Taman Lipsey, two just absolute warriors. I love both those players. So I think that's going to be a real fun matchup as well.
You mentioned Taman Lipsey. Apparently, Taman really loves to play in Kansas City. Why is he so good there?
He's good everywhere. But the only real difference is he shot the three ball better here in KC. And the rest of his game, I mean, my goodness, he has over 300 steals in his career. He's already set our career steals record. He's going to break it by like 100. He plays with all out effort every play, every game. And so the thing is, when he's making threes, it's an added dimension for Iowa State because, sometimes, you have Momcilovic, who's a great three-point shooter, and everybody else is very capable. But some games when they're not making them, court gets kind of compressed, a little tougher to score. So Iowa State's got to be able to get the floor spread a little bit so they can attack better both inside and then kick out and make those threes.
Eric Heft is our guest. It's your scouting report. It's brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier since 1960 here to get you there. Eric Heft on the Iowa State Cyclones radio network. Milan Momcilovic, he was injured the first time we played you guys last year. Did not necessarily play that well in Tucson. What has to happen for him within this offense to get going?
Well, I think the big thing, Iowa State's got to be able to maybe get him some looks in transition, or as I mentioned, after offensive rebounds, those kickouts, those are the highest quality threes that you can get. And, he's probably 60% on those too. But Arizona did such a good job covering him. Karchenkov is a really good defender, and he has some length and strength. And Milan, we've got to do a great job setting screens to get him those looks. And he needs to see the first one go down. Once he sees one go down, I mean, all of a sudden he becomes a real monster. But I thought when Aristode came in, too, he was tremendous defensively. So those guys are probably a little more athletic than Milan. So Iowa State's got to devise some things to get him those good looks. But I think transition and kick out threes are his best opportunity, and that's something I'm sure Iowa State's going to be looking for tonight.
You mentioned, obviously, the 15 offensive rebounds that you guys were able to get here in Tucson. 6 of those went to Blake Buchanan, the transfer from Virginia. How is he assimilated into what TJ Oatsberger is trying to do with this team?
He's exactly what TJ was hoping to get. You know, TJ had coached him on the U.S. team. TJ was an assistant. So he got to know him prior to him coming to Iowa State. But he really runs the floor well. He plays very hard. And Iowa State's, what they hang their hat on first and foremost always is defense and defensive pressure. And what he's able to do in terms of traps, he's so good at really making it difficult to get out of those traps, and his recovery speed has been great. Now, Iowa State will give up a couple baskets because teams will be able to pick it apart, but Iowa State typically will force enough turnovers and get enough offense from that to offset that. But he's a relentless offensive rebounder. Not a great scorer, but he's had his games. He's played really well here in Kansas City in these first 2 games, and I expect he's looking forward to the challenge of Krivas and Owaka inside. I guess if anybody would look forward to that matchup, those guys are really good.
You mentioned the defensive side of it. We were joking earlier. It's like, I guess TJ was the only one that voted not to get rid of the floor. It's because, the more guys are slipping out there, the more chance that Iowa State has a chance to get turnovers from these teams. I think you guys had 25 in the game. My guy JW Madden said 25 turnovers against ASU earlier this week.
Yeah. Well, ASU had ended their season, I think, the day before because they didn't really show up in that game. But, the slipping thing, maybe that helped Iowa State a little bit. But, at the same time, I don't think that was a real factor in either game in terms of deciding it one way or the other because Texas Tech's a great defensive team. They try to do a lot of the same things Iowa State does. But Iowa State was just better at executing it. But as far as I think they made the right call with the floor, though, and I think deep down TJ does too.
Who's the best of those defenders?
Well, interesting. Taman made the all-defensive team in the Big 12 for the 3rd year out of his 4. Killian Toure is an unbelievable defender. He has really struggled offensively lately, but at 6'3", 200-plus pounds, 6'8" wingspan, and attitude and intensity that is just unmatched. He's probably our best defender. But the great thing about this group is we don't have a bad defender. Milan would probably be maybe the weakest, but he's really become a good defender. But we have some guys that are really terrific, and Blake does a good job inside. But Killian and Taman, those 2 guards, and Nate Heisey off the bench are terrific. I'm sure you can hear the national anthem warming up here. Maybe we're not close, but they're just doing their warm-up now, too.
Erica, what's your favorite barbecue joint in Kansas City? Do you have one?
I like Q39.
I've heard you're the second person that said Q39.
Yeah, that's good. Jack Stack's good. There are a lot of really good ones, but Q39, I don't go to Kansas City without stopping there.
There you go. Eric, have a great call today with John Walters on the game.
I will. Hey, let me add one thing.
Yes.
We're really happy that Arizona's in the Big 12. You guys have added basketball-wise so much to this league, and I hope you guys appreciate it. I love your team. I hope you guys, I think I would rate you the favorite, come April. But I'm really glad you're in the league.
Well, Eric, we appreciate those kind statements right there. It's been a whole lot different, obviously, from a lot of standpoints, but it's been a real competitive experience. And we say every night is something to look forward to. There are no real down nights in this conference, and that makes it a whole lot of fun for the 3-4 months that we do this.
It is fun, maybe unless you're a coach.
There you go. Eric, appreciate you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Eric Heft with your scouting report for today.
And that's the lowdown on the team U of A is about to face on the hardwood. The scouting report has been brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Jack Furrier since 1960. Here to get you there. This is Meridian Wealth Management. Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 2 of the pregame show is brought to you by Bear Down Roofing, Dorado Rock, Essential Pest Control, Goodfellas AC, Hughes Federal Credit Union, Johnson Manley Company, JT Auto, Lexus of Tucson, Mr. Rooter, Recon Auto Detail, Rightway Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Rocking K, a master planned community designed by nature, Factory Direct Mattress, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Broadway in Tucson presents the 20th anniversary season featuring 7 Tucson premieres, including Disney's Beauty and the Beast, Hell's Kitchen, Moulin Rouge, The Wiz, Back to the Future, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and more. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the lowest prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2025-2026 season tickets today.
Advantage Air Mechanical, the team you can trust. Call 792-9400.
When it comes to the comfort and indoor air quality of your home and office, Advantage Air Mechanical has you covered. Breathing healthy air and having reliable air conditioning is important. If you or someone you know is in need of air conditioning services or a new system installation, we are here to help. Advantage Air Mechanical, 792-9400. AZROC 214570.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
Day in and day out, we're inundated with commercials asking to review your portfolio or telling you to get a second opinion. This is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management, and I want to share the advice I give people every day. Talk to 3 different advisors at 3 different firms. It's important to understand their differences and find someone you can trust. I want Meridian to be one of your 3, and then you will decide who is best for you. To learn more, call us at 719-1433 today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
It's Truck Month at O'Reilly Chevrolet, and supplier pricing is going on right now. Check out our great lineup and save big. Get up to $12,475 off the 2026 Silverado LD, up to $7,500 off the 2025 Blazer EV, and up to $2,500 off the 2026 Traverse. Truck Month is happening now. Find us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or go to O'Reilly.com. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
So, what is it that scares you the most?
The blue trucks from Essential Pest Control, Doctor. They leave bugs belly up.
I use one of those national companies.
Thanks, Doc. Those guys don't scare me.
Spring is bug season. Go blue with Essential Pest Control. We'll eliminate those bugs, bees, and termites. Buy local and stop paying too much with those national providers. Essential Pest Control is a bug's worst nightmare.
I can't sleep at night.
Essential Pest Control. Call 866-3029. That's 866-3029. Or visit essentialpest.com.
Ready to update your kitchen, create a spa-inspired bathroom, or a backyard oasis? Put the equity in your home to work for you with a home equity line of credit from Hughes. Borrow between $10,000 and $250,000 and enjoy flexible terms and no prepayment penalties. With Hughes Federal Credit Union's one-rate guarantee, there's no switching rates based on your credit score. All our members get our same low rate. Learn more at hughesfcu.org/HELOC. Insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender. Certain restrictions apply.
All right, she's inside. Are you good?
Yeah. It's just, she's my baby girl, you know?
I do, and ceramic coating was a good choice.
She's beautiful.
Yep, I know.
Recon Auto Detailing. Enhance or restore your baby to her former glory with paint recondition, ceramic coating, paint protection, tinting, and more for full protection of your vehicle inside and out. New cars, old cars, we love them all. Recon Auto Detailing, 3829 North Oracle Road, Tucson. ReconDetail.com.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Bradley down into the lane, lay it up and good. Previous turnaround jump hook is good. Del Orso springs a 3 out there and drains it. Nawaka takes away the rebound and slams it home. It's a man's game.
Bear down, Cats. Our Window Depot coverage of University of Arizona basketball continues with Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Arizona Game Day. The pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We are counting down to tip-off for Arizona Wildcats basketball. This is Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Cole can't get inside on Stillwell. Kick it back out, Bradley. Bradley working down, crossover, drives right, pull-up jumper is up and good. That's the best shot for Jaden Bradley, that little mid-range.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
All right, final hour of our show here as we take you up to 3:30 and hand it over to the network. Brian Jeffries, Reggie Geary will have the call of the game today between the Wildcats and the Cyclones. We'll start to identify who our pest of the game might be, brought to you by Essential Pest Control. Can we beat the book? Arizona, a 3.5-point favorite out of the Casino del Sol Sports. Your over-under today low, 143.5 with these two teams. And your keys to the game, what do the Wildcats need to do to win this contest over the Iowa State Cyclones? Keys to the game brought to you by Royal Automotive. Starting lineup as presented to you by Rocking K. All right, we are still, let's see, game starts at 4 o'clock. So we are now officially 90 minutes out. So let's check our availability report as brought to you by Nobody. So if you want to jump on board with that, you can. Nobody to report for the University of Arizona on the availability report today. Mason Williams is out for Iowa State. Xavion Mitchell is a game-time decision for Iowa State. Neither one of those two players are primary rotation players for the Iowa State Cyclones. So for the most part, everybody who's anybody is good on both sides of the coin. Xavier Mitchell's only played 7 games this season, and Mason Williams has played does not appear any. So
you love to see it, Kelvin, because when you've got two teams of the caliber of the Cyclones and Wildcats, two teams that have been in the top 10 all year long, you want those teams to be at full strength late in the season when they face off in a tournament like this.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, both teams want to see each other at their best. This is a Final Four type of matchup, so advantage goes to both of these teams. I hate to say it, neither team is going to lose because at the end of the day, whichever team comes out of this is probably going to be even more hungrier. Whichever team come out of this with a loss is going to be more even hungry to get to a Final Four.
520-848-1290 is the number. If you'd like to get in on the program with us today, you can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. You can download the Wildcats Radio 1290 app and, get in on that as well. Let's start to identify some of the guys who could be pests of the game today. How about this guy right here?
1-point lead for Texas Tech. 4:55 remaining in the half. Lipsy throws to Heisey. Now to Bateman for a 3. Right wing. Around and out. Two-hand tip dunk by Nate Heisey. Wow. 26-25 Iowa State.
Nate Heisey is a guy that comes off the bench for TJ Oldsberger. He averages just 5 points and 4 rebounds, but he's a pretty nice little backup guard. He's got 54 assists on the season, and he can obviously get up to and put back a dunk or two when he needs to. TJ Oldsberger on that dunk you just heard from Nate Heisey.
That's a big energy play. I think anytime, for us, we call them hammers and daggers, and to be able to get a hammer on the offensive glass, especially a dunk, those plays are worth far more than 2 points. So Nate is very capable of making big energy, toughness plays consistently for us. And, as soon as he went into the game, he made that play. And so that gives our team tremendous confidence and energy, and we'll continue to lean into his ability to do that.
Now, Iowa State is in their last 7 games, they're just 4-3 overall, but they have won 3 straight since their loss to Arizona. That includes a couple of wins over Arizona State, one to end the regular season and one to begin the Big 12 Conference Tournament.
Just for the record, Kelvin, that tip dunk was in fact worth 2 points and not more than 2 points.
Yeah, no, it's 2 points, but as Coach said, and you know this, J-Dub, it does, put something in the mind of the defense, and it motivates and pumps up your team.
Oh, yeah,
so it gives you that extra little boost to help sway your team's energy.
Yeah, you know all about this, Kelvin Efon, because when a guard gets up on an offensive rebound and dunks it in, I mean, that's going to hype up your boys, and they're going to, they'll play a little bit harder the next time down on defense.
The Cyclones have knocked off the 3 games that they've won in a row. They have won by double digits. Of course, 2 games ago in the opener in Kansas City, they ended Bobby Hurley's tenure with a 49-point victory. They won by 20 yesterday over Texas Tech. Nate Heisey was asked if he thinks the Cyclones can keep up this effort through the rest of March.
Yeah, I mean, if we play defense the way we have, I think it's definitely sustainable for that on that end. And then on offense, making shots is one thing, but I think if we play the defense we can and we don't even make shots, it's going to be able to – it's something that we can win with doing, and that's what I would say.
All right, so Nate Heisey, maybe a off-the-grid potential pest of the game, and on-the-grid guy, no question, Tamin Lipsey, the heart and soul of this team, the point guard, just the 15th player in school history to play at Iowa State, who went to Ames High School. Of course, Iowa State is located in Ames, Iowa. One thing TJ Oldsberger wants to see from his point guard, we mentioned he's just been unbelievable as a shooter, at least a three-point shooter in Kansas City, but TJ just wants Tamin to shoot more, period.
Yeah, Tamin and I have had some direct conversations about him hunting more shots, so I'm not as much outcome-based. It's a belief I have in him and knowing what he can do, so don't be surprised to see the same thing as we move forward because he's going to continue to stay on the hunt.
Averages 13 points per ball game, does Tamin Lipsey, ISU's career leader in steals, and now starts playing in his senior season. Let's hear from Tamin on his hot shooting career in Kansas City. So here's what he is, guys. From 3 in games in Kansas City, he has made 14 of 26. So he is just over 50% shooting from 3 in the Big 12 tournament. Let's hear from Tamin on that.
I honestly have no clue what it is, but it definitely feels better in my shot. Like you said, I shoot the ball well down here, and just keep it going. It's just about confidence.
And, guys, that's what you want from your guard. For him to be shooting the ball well in big-time venues at this time of the year.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want. I mean, him having that confidence. You guys know I always say you have to have guard play at this time of the year because a lot of times everybody know your sets. Arizona really knew their sets a lot last time. That's why they were able to jump a lot of their screens and trying to get their three-point shooters open. So having a guy like him go off and take shots off of the offense instead of, being on time, making plays off the dribble, I think it makes him more dangerous.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at, the two teams, and obviously Mr. Heft mentioned, the big matchup I think a lot of people will be watching will be Jaden Bradley and Tamin Lipsey, the two upperclassmen guards. And there's a lot of analog there, DK, because neither of those guys have ever shot more than about 10 field goal attempts in a season, all 4 years on campus. However, Kelvin, when their teams need a big bucket, when Tamin Lipsey's got it going, he will call his own number because he knows, he's not necessarily always been the most consistently good outside shooter, but he can get streaky at times and knock down 4 or 5 in a row, or get streaky during a tournament, DK, like he has this year. It's feeling, the rim's looking really big right now, and he's really confident in that outside shot. So as we've seen with Jaden Bradley, when he's got it going, when he likes his defensive matchup on that side, he certainly can force the issue a little bit more. I think, obviously TJ is just looking for his upperclassman senior guard to take it home. And if he's feeling it and if he can see a little bit of daylight and see that rim, to let it fly. He's a very unselfish player. He's a very team-first oriented player. He's the ultimate competitor. That's who Tamin Lipsey is. And Kelvin, they're going to need him at times when, Momcilovic doesn't have a go in and Jefferson doesn't have a go in. Tamin Lipsey kind of needs to take over and call his own number a little bit more.
And bigger than anything, they got 15 offensive rebounds. You need guys to take shots, to get shots up so you can get the offensive rebound. I used to say that a lot about Caleb Love. I said, man, we just need Caleb Love to get up a shot because he has a nice, soft, offensive reboundable shot. So I think it's the same thing with him. And when he gets those shots off, it gives his his players a chance to chase down those long rebounds, and it was very effective against us last time.
I'll tell you one thing, DK. My favorite thing about Tamin Lipsey is if I had to pick a guy in the nation other than Tobe Awaka to get a 50-50 ball, it would be Tamin Lipsey. I mean, he get every single 50-50 ball. Doesn't matter what kind of bruises are on his knees. He just sacrifices his body, whatever. But he is such a hustler and always has been that way. Didn't develop into that. He's always been about that life. So always been very impressed with Tamin's ability to sacrifice and get the ball, whatever it takes, Kelvin. And that's teammates love that. If you got to get an extra possession for your team by, getting on that floor earlier than other guys do, that's what Tamin Lipsey's all about.
Tamin Lipsey could be a pest of the game. So could Joshua Jefferson, who we mentioned went just 2 for 17, missed all 5 of his 3-point shots in the loss here in Tucson. Since that time, though, he's shooting 55% from the floor. TJ Oldsberger, the head coach, on what happened that night here in Tucson.
He's proven over time, especially this season, to be one of the most difficult matchups and most skilled and talented players. And, I mean, it was physical on some of those drives, and I think that Joshua will be better for it. I mean, he is a tremendous competitor. He's extremely smart, and I think anytime you have the gifts that he has, you get better from adversity.
Back-to-back double-doubles against Arizona State, against Arizona State, he had 20 points and 12 rebounds, 18 and 13 in the game yesterday. Milan Momcilovic on the bounce-back Joshua's had since that poor shooting night here in Tucson.
I think he's trying to look for his teammate. When he does that and is more of a playmaker, then the game just opens up for him. So he's playmaking more, which is allowing him to, just score the ball more. And he's getting those spots. He's finishing well, and we have all the confidence in him to be the best player on the court, and that's what he is.
All right, Joshua.
Do you know what the difference is? ASU doesn't have Koa Pete or Tobe Awaka. So if you look at what Joshua Jefferson does, Kelvin, he does a lot of, Charles Barkley type back downs, and from that mid post, he has control. He's got great vision. Obviously, you can tell that by the assist numbers. There's a lot of shooters on that team. So when Joshua Jefferson can get in the mid post and do work, he could do that versus ASU. He could do that versus Texas Tech because Toppin's out for the season. Toppin's another guy who could stand him up a little bit more. But we watched that in McHale, and as good of a player as Joshua Jefferson is, when he was trying to back down Koa Pete did not move. When he was trying to back down Tobe Awaka, he couldn't go anywhere with it. So that's a huge advantage. I love this Iowa State Cyclones team, Kelvin. But if you want to know about the personnel differences and why they've been so successful against other teams and didn't have great success, sure, you could call it a one-off game in McHale. But, Kelvin, to me, the personnel that Arizona has matches up front court-wise, especially. You got Momcilovic on the perimeter. Well, guess what? Ivan Karchenkov has seen that exact type of player his whole life. He's got similar size and length. Aristote as well. And in the post with Joshua Jefferson, I mean, Koa Pete and Tobe Awaka are just as strong as he is, so he can't do anything but to back those guys down. He's got to play it a little bit differently this time around to be successful.
Yeah, and they're used to forcing a double team with him. Well, usually when he gets in the post, the other teams have to double. As you said, we have those two guys that he can't, Koa Pete and Awaka. He can't back those guys. Those guys don't need any help from doubles, and our guys can stay locked on the shooters on the perimeter.
All right, we gave you a bunch of guys. Let's find out who that pest of the game or who those pests of the game are going to be tonight.
Who is the pest that the Wildcats need to be free from to win today's game? The Pest of the Game is brought to you by Essential Pest Control. Pest control with science. In Tucson at essentialpest.com.
All right, J-Dub, we'll go with you first.
Well, last time around, I took the obvious choice to me, which is Tamin Lipsey, so I'll let somebody else have that this time. I'll go with Milan Momcilovic because, again, like Mr. Hef said there, when he sees the first ball goes through, it gets as big as an ocean. He's one of the best, if not the best shooter in the country. A big, big problem maintaining, especially off the offensive rebound scramble, that the Cyclones love to get those open looks from three. So, to me, tonight, it's Milan, and if he gets it going early, it could be a long night for the Cats.
Kelvin, Ifan.
It's Joshua Jefferson for me, man. He's basically like their point guard. He only had 2 assists versus us last time. only 4 turnovers, 12 points, which isn't really bad for him, but a bad shoot night, 2 for 17. I think he's a guy we have to watch out for because I think he's going to really want to put his imprint on his game.
I'm going to go with Killian Torre, although he has not, as our guy Eric Heft said, has not played well offensively. He, in fact, is 2 for 9 since getting to this tournament, and he was 2 for 9 before that. That's 4 for 18. He's 4 for his last 25 from the field. So he's not shot the ball well now for about 5 games. And I think that's and three-pointers, he's 1 for 11 over that stretch. But again, he's a guy that can do a lot of things. He can defend. He's a facilitator at the offensive end. And if he finds that shot, if today's the day that he finds that shot for Killian Torre, he could be the guy that I think is the separator from Arizona winning this game and Iowa State having a chance to get the victory on their side. So I'm going to go with Killian Torre as my guy. Those are the guys we think will get underneath the skin of your Arizona Wildcats.
That's our Best of the Game. Brought to you by Essential Pest Control. Pest control with science. In Tucson at essentialpest.com. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 3 of the pregame show is brought to you by ABC Heating and Cooling, Arizona Commercial Lighting, Blue Sky Pest Control, Broadway and Tucson's 20th anniversary season, Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, First Choice Pools, Goldberg and Osborne, The Injury Lawyers, Gospel Rescue Mission, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Shamrock Heating and Cooling, Showtime Sports Cards, Tucson Appliance Company, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed. Life well lived.
Coach, Tommy Lloyd here with the Right Way team.
Great news. Free furnace season has been extended through the end of March. Have you been thinking about replacing your heating and cooling system this year? To spark business, we're giving away an 80% gas furnace or a heat pump air handler with the purchase of a new air conditioning system.
And we're offering up to 60 months no interest financing, manufacturer and energy efficiency rebates, and 10-year parts and labor warranty.
Call or text 520-200-2422 to book your free estimate today or visit rightwayac.com.
If it's worth doing, do it the right way.
Looking for top-notch lumber and framing? Johnson Manley Lumber has been your trusted expert since 1970, specializing in both residential and commercial projects. Our experienced teams, cutting-edge technology, and reliable supply chain ensure your framing is on time and on budget every time. We're proud to be employee-owned and community-rooted in Tucson. Learn more at johnsonmanley.net. Proud supporter of the University of Arizona radio broadcast. Go Wildcats.
You know it, your neighbors know it, and let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be, but thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was, and even better. Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials, the right service, the right product, the right price.
For windows and doors that combine style, performance, and efficiency, come to the Window Depot. We carry a large selection of Milgard windows and patio doors, with many options in stock and available today. Choose from a variety of colors, styles, and energy-efficient designs that can help improve comfort while adding value to your home. From new builds to window replacements, our team can help you find the right Milgard products for your unique project. Visit thewindowdepot.com to find a location near you.
Morning begins in the Rincon Foothills. Rocking K, a master-planned community and place to call home, offering distinct neighborhoods designed to fit your lifestyle. Explore the outdoors, walk the trails, visit Saguaro National Park. Enjoy community parks and make new friends at Rocking K resident events. Walk to Vail School District's newest campus in Rocking K, Saguaro Creek. 17 model homes, 6 quality builders, move-in ready homes available from the 300s. Rocking K, designed by nature. A community by design.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care with Mad March savings all month long. Now's the time to save big with big deals on major brand tires like the long-lasting quiet riding Michelin Defender 2 and slam dunk savings on automotive repairs with big rebates up to $100. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's 14 convenient locations are ready to assist on your next championship drive. Check out jackfurriers.com for even more savings. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Wildcat fans, where do you go when the final buzzer sounds? You don't head home. You head to Roadhouse Cinemas and Roadies, Tucson's home court for great food, craft beer, and nonstop fun. At Roadies, you can bowl, throw an axe, play arcade games, or grab a burger while the next game plays on the massive screens. Then, catch the newest movies right next door at Roadhouse Cinemas with luxury recliners and full in-seat dining. Game days, movie nights, anytime. Make it a win at Roadhouse Cinemas and Roadies on the corner of Grant and Swan.
Ready to update your kitchen, create a spa-inspired bathroom, or a backyard oasis? Put the equity in your home to work for you with a home equity line of credit from Hughes. Borrow between $10,000 and $250,000 and enjoy flexible terms and no prepayment penalties. With Hughes Federal Credit Union's one-rate guarantee, there's no switching rates based on your credit score. All our members get our same low rate. Learn more at hughesfcu.org/HELOC. Insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender. Certain restrictions apply.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Back out to Nelson. Bounce pass to Arnold. Nelson looks at the three, takes it out there, and he's got it. Evan Nelson. It's his fourth Lexus of Tucson charity three of the season. 81-59 Arizona.
Well, they're in zone, and they just gave me too much space, so I just let it fly.
South Point Catholics. Evan Nelson getting into the action of yesterday's win over UCF, making a three-point shot. He's now 4 for 9 on the season from behind the arc, shooting 44%. That's a good average for him, 5 of 12 overall. On the year in the games that he has gotten
He's
into.
always been a good shooter, right?
Oh, yeah. I thought he was a great shooter in high school, yeah.
I just mean like his percentage at Harvard. Yeah, he's a good shooter. Good three-point shooter.
Yeah, he always was and always been a pretty good shooter, man, on that perimeter for sure. So I'm not surprised with him knocking down shots when he get an opportunity.
He spoke with Mackenzie Hamilton after the game about the keys to winning over the Knights on Thursday.
First off, just our ability to come out and hit first. Got it big early in the game against them, and then just the ability to hang with it and battle on the glass. I don't know the rebounding margin, but I know we were won that. So, just sticking with it and punching first.
You've been in some big-time matchups, some big-time games like this postseason run that you guys are about to enter into. For a lot of your freshmen, yes, they've been in some big games, but this will be their first college postseason run. What advice are you and other vets offering them at this time?
Well, it's actually my first postseason run as well, so just enjoy the moment, I think, and then pour everything we have into the game 40 minutes at a time. As much energy, as much, noise and whatever we need to manufacture for the team, for the guys on the court, that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, Evan Nelson getting his first taste of the postseason. He played 3 of the 4 years he was at Harvard. Obviously, he had the injury the 1 year and did not play. So he's experiencing something that he has not experienced yet in his career as well. So good stuff there.
Yeah, it's because Yale and Princeton always win the Ivy League postseason tournament, and that's who gets the auto bid.
Don't say Princeton too loud.
Why?
Because that's the team that kept me in Sacramento for an extra day back a few years ago.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is like that's the problem with the Ivy League schools is they don't have athletic scholarships, so they're not going to generally get enough net rankings to get a secondary team in. So you got to win. That's the old ACC tournament days when you had 4 of the top 10 teams in the country, and only the winner of the postseason tournament in the 60s and 70s went to the NCAA tournament. So, yeah, unfortunately, Evan Nelson and the Crimson did not make an NCAA tournament run, and that's because Yale and Princeton have won the last 3.
Yeah, when you guys talk about Santa Clara and who's the other one, Miami of Ohio, back in the day, the kids today talk about Princeton a few years ago. The Wildcats flaming out.
I think Buffalo is harder than Princeton, round. Definitely. We expected Princeton was a damn good team, and Princeton has always been a really good team. In fact, we talked extensively about their offense and how Arizona would struggle. The Buffalo one and just getting whipped off the court with Ayton in there, that came more out of left field, I think.
There you go. 520-848-1290. Another guy who was awesome off the bench in yesterday's win was Toby Awaka. 12 points and 12 rebounds.
Just trying to see the best way I can serve my team, just the best way possible. Just cleaning up the glass, playing defense, getting guys open for screens, just trying to help, play winning basketball.
Let's check in on the tournament weekend and how it's transpiring right now across the country.
Let's take a look at what's happening today around the rest of the country. The Wildcats Radio 1290 Game Day Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, Arizona's leading injury law firm.
Guys, before we get into the scoreboard, I don't know if you've been following the bracketology of one Joe Lenardi, but did you see the setup he has currently for the Arizona Wildcats?
No.
He has them as the number one seed in the West in San Diego. And then the 8-9 game, he's got them playing Long Island in the 116 game.
LIU.
The 8-9 game he has right now, Texas A&M, UCLA.
Well, that's obvious. I mean, I talked about that the second they decided that they were going to officially go to the Big 12, is that you're going to see a lot of Pac-12 teams early in the NCAA tournament. The rule is you cannot have two teams from the same conference play in the first or second round of the NCAA tournament. So the second that the Pac-12 dissolved, I said it. Oregon, UCLA, Washington, a lot of these former Arizona rivals are going to be a first or second round matchup for the Cats moving forward in the NCAA tournament, because not the selection committee, but the people who put the brackets together, DK, you know what they love? Storylines. They always set it up to have some kind of storyline in the second or third round between two teams that have some kind of connection, or in this case, longtime rivals.
Rod Strickland.
Yeah.
Rod Strickland is the head coach for LIU.
Gonzaga is on the other end of that bracket as the number 3 currently. I mean, that's you could be looking at an Elite 8 of Arizona Gonzaga potentially if they could get by Michigan State's the number 2 seed, as he currently has this projected in the West. We'll find out for sure on Sunday. We will be live Sunday at the Union Public House after the Tommy Lloyd Show for your Selection Sunday special. So join us for that as well. All right, scoreboard. Let's get to that here before we find out who can beat the book today. 2 games, obviously, in the Big 12, 2 quarter or semifinal games. Iowa State and Arizona is the first of those games. The second will be 14th ranked Kansas against number 5 Houston. That is scheduled to start at 6:30 our time. Games right now. We have 3 finals on the board. Big Ten quarterfinals. Number 3 Michigan got all they wanted from rival Ohio State, but the Wolverines win it 71-67. Number 4 Florida once again takes out Kentucky 71-63. I can't imagine the people in Kentucky are real happy with 10-8 and losing in the quarterfinals of the SEC tournament. Is Mark Pope, is the seat starting to get hot, you think, for Mark Pope there, or is it still too early for that?
That seat's always hot.
Second year for him there, I think. Yeah.
Third?
I thought he can't, because I think Kevin Young is 2 years. This is Kevin Young's second year.
Yeah, same.
So second year for Pope, because he left, obviously, to go to Kentucky.
Yeah, I mean, that seat's always hot. That's probably the hottest seat job in America, regardless of how they've done prior. But when you're talking about the success that, they've had over the last 20 years and the number of first-round top 5 NBA draft picks, yeah, you have to win there, Kelvin, in order to be secure in your job.
Nick Boyd scored 38 points today. Wisconsin, number 23, beats number 9 Illinois in the Big Ten quarterfinals, 91-88. Kylan Boswell, 9 points in 18 minutes. In that contest.
I have an apology, actually, to make. Something I said on the air last night. I said, you were doing the scoreboard last night for the Post. And I said, also, Georgetown is going to play a game in an hour if you guys want to go see KJ Lewis. KJ Lewis got hurt 2 weeks ago, and he's out for the season. So I apologize. I told people to go watch KJ Lewis. He's actually, unfortunately, out for the season.
Okay. Number 13, St. John's leading Seton Hall 22-16. St. John's finished regular season 18-2 in the Big East. Number 22, Vanderbilt leading Tennessee 63-58 with about 6.5 minutes to go in that game. Lots of other games on tap today. Purdue and Nebraska, quarterfinal in the Big Ten. Miami and Virginia, semifinal in the ACC. Ole Miss and Alabama, quarterfinal in the SEC. Georgetown and UConn is a semifinal in the Big East. UCLA is in the quarterfinals of the Big Ten. They'll face Michigan State today. Number 1, Duke in the semifinals of the ACC against Clemson. Number 17, Arkansas, Oklahoma, quarterfinals, SEC. That is your scoreboard for the moment.
1290 Game Day Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, Arizona's leading injury law firm. Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station.
Along with Kelvin Efon and JW Madden, my name is David Kelly. It's Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. We are now just 2 hours away from the start of basketball in Kansas City. It is your Arizona Wildcats, the number 2 team in the country, against number 7 Iowa State in the Big 12 tournament semifinals. A lot of other stuff happening around U of A today. Baseball on the road at Utah, opening up Big 12 conference play. Huge softball series tonight. This will be a good one. U of A at Texas Tech. The Lady Red Raiders are number 2 in the country. That'll be a 4 o'clock first pitch today on the diamond. Arizona Gymnastics also home against Texas Western, Ohio State, and Southeastern Missouri in a quad meet tonight at McHale Center at Alchemy Arena at 6 o'clock. Beach volleyball also playing today at Cal Poly. They're out at the Cal Poly Mustang Roundup out in California. So lots of things happening around Wildcat World. All right, let's find out who can beat the book today.
Tucson, it's time to beat the book. Will the Cats beat the spread? It's time to look at the numbers and find out how you should bet the book so you can beat the book. Bet the Book is sponsored by Casino del Sol. Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
Now, in reality, we have reached the postseason. The Arizona Wildcats could have as few as 2 games remaining and as many as 8 going into today. So if there's only 2 games remaining, I'm going to win this thing because y'all ain't catching me. So y'all need to...
You are the only one who cares about this.
So y'all need to...
If you was a real better, if you was better than the one, if you're a real better, let's go. Make this competition.
Y'all need that 8 games here. DK's up 5 right now on J-Dub. And
man, I was
9
so gracious last year when I won, too. It's amazing.
Good for you. Good for you being gracious. That's awesome. Gracious is a great thing to be in life. All right, 3.5 points Iowa State getting today against the Arizona Wildcats. Kelvin is -4, so we'll start with you, Kelvin.
Say that again.
Arizona -3.5.
-3.5, man. I think Arizona wins this game by 6 today.
Oh, okay. So you are going to lay U of A and the 3.5 points, even though this is a pseudo home game for Iowa State. JW Madden.
Yeah, I really love TJ's squad. I like their personnel. But like I said a couple of segments ago, I just don't think that they match up well with Arizona. I think that what Iowa State does really well, Arizona has counters to that, and especially with Joshua Jefferson's size and strength from that facilitating power forward position. I just think with Koa Pete and Tobe Awaka especially can really nullify that. And Ivan Karchenkov, really good at following around Momchilovich. So I think the Cats win by, 6 or 7.
All right. I'm not going to disagree with what either of you said there. I took the Wildcats yesterday, and I'm going to take them again, even with this lower line and what is probably going to be a hostile environment for them today. I'll take Arizona minus the 3.5 in this game against Iowa State. Your over-under is 143.5 today. We'll go in reverse order here. What'd you say? You said 136?
130.
130.
Yeah, it was 73 to 57.
Yeah. And we've seen games in the 60s. I'm gonna stick with the under.
Did they change the rims or just the court?
I think they just changed the court. Yeah, not the rims.
Yeah, no, I mean, these are two teams that hang their hat on defense. You talk about Arizona's pace and getting out and running and getting points, but yeah, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game as well. I think it's going to be, Kelvin, a very intense game. I think this is a real prove-it situation going into the NCAA tournament with two teams set on making deep runs. So, yeah, I think it's going to be low-scoring for sure.
So you're going under?
That's what I said, yes.
Okay. Kelvin?
Yeah, I'm going under as well because these are two of the best defensive teams in the nation. And I think sometimes we forget about that. They know each other. They just played each other. I think it's going to be ugly, and I think it's going to come down to who's the toughest team, as Coach Grant McClaskman was saying so much over from Texas Tech. So, yeah, I think Coach Lloyd is telling the guys in there to win this game. It's going to be a dogfight. As they said, this is a home game for them, so it's going to be even more special to win the game.
All right, so everybody is in alignment on this one today. Arizona minus 3.5, under 143. And our friend Amy Burton checks in and says, we love KC barbecue. All right. Love that, Amy, that you love KC. I've never had it, so I can't say whether I love it or not.
My favorite.
I'm sure I bought it in the store. Is there any KC barbecue that's sold in the store? I don't know.
You can sample all of it. It's not going to be the high quality, obviously, but
it's not going to be Q39.
Bro, there's Kansas City barbecue live. You can go to a lot of barbecue joints around town and get different styles of it. I like North Carolina is probably my favorite. I like the vinegar. It's good.
Okay. There you go. That's we'll find out who beats the book tonight on the postgame show.
That is how you bet the book so you can beat the book. Bet the Book is sponsored by Casino del Sol. Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
Are you planning a home renovation? Getting quotes on windows, doors, cabinets, countertops, or flooring? Before you commit, visit the Window Depot and make sure you're not overpaying. The Window Depot is your one-stop shop for top quality products at the lowest prices. We're locally owned and operated with no installers and no middlemen, so you save big. Perfect for DIYers, contractors, and homeowners. Visit a location near you or shop online at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
In Tucson, Cool Willie's knows desert dust, dirt, and debris are the #1 AC killers when the heat hits. That's why our signature tune-up is the best way to get your system summer ready. Right now, we're offering a preseason AC reset, a deep internal clean where our technicians remove built-up dust, restore airflow, and prep your home before temperatures spike. First-time customers get their preseason AC reset for just $39, normally $129. Appointments fill fast before the first heat wave. Go to coolwillies.com and click Book Now.
Every day is a balancing act, with work, family, goals, all asking for more. It helps to have tools that meet you at every step and a team that will always be by your side. We're ICCU. We're a credit union that has been helping members achieve financial success since 1940. In fact, we put member success first, one by one, year after year, for 85 years and counting. Now, we're here for you, Tucson. Join us, ICCU.
Up your game in a new Buick or GMC from Royal Buick GMC. At Royal, we always deliver a quality vehicle at a great price. Score a great deal with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff and our transparent online pricing. Plus, Royal offers a 72-hour buyback guarantee. Score big at Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. See dealer for details. Royal Buick GMC in the Tucson Auto Mall or royaltucson.com.
Our daughter was addicted to pain meds, and for over 2 decades, she was lost to us. We tried to help, but the more we tried, the worse it got. She went to 18 different rehabs. We finally realized that to really love her, we needed to let her go, even when that meant her going to jail. When she got out, she went to Gospel Rescue Mission, and as the days turned into months, we knew we had our daughter back.
If you need help, or if you know someone who needs help, go to grmtucson.com.
It's your time to shine. This is Desert Diamond Casino, the spot with Arizona's only hometown sportsbook, the hottest slots and tables, and off-the-charts energy you won't find anywhere else. Here, there's always a fun-filled, action-packed, downright unforgettable night right around the corner. So let your hair down, turn the sparkle all the way up. It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino.
An enterprise of the Thama Ogden Nation.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we know Arizona. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we've fought and won cases for the injured since 1989. Throughout our history, we've approached every case with a single focus: you. And we've got thousands of 5-star reviews to prove it. Put us to work for you by calling 1-800-THE-EAGLE today.
From work to errands to family life, your car takes a beating. At Recon Auto Detailing, we don't just protect it, we maintain it.
They installed my ceramic coating in shop, and now their mobile team keeps it looking brand new, right in my driveway.
Ceramic coatings, PPF, tint, all installed professionally at Recon Auto Detailing. And with our mobile detailing, we keep that fresh, protected look mile after mile. One-stop shop, zero hassle. That's Recon Auto Detailing, Ceramic Pro West, Tucson.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now, back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Yvonne, and J.W. Madden.
Right side, Burks passed up the three. Drives inside, shot blocked by Krivas. Grabbed by Karchenkov ahead to Burries. Burries jump stop in the lane, lays it in.
Beautiful play there on both ends of the floor. Mo Creek is coming up with a second block shot, leading to a run out for Braden Burries.
Arizona and Iowa State coming up in Kansas City. It is the semifinals of the Big 12 Conference Tournament. Can the Wildcats win 3 games in 3 days to not only be the Big 12 regular season champions, but also be the Big 12 tournament champions? This will be the 11th all-time meeting between Arizona and Iowa State. Wildcats lead the series 6-4. They, of course, won just 11 days ago over the Cyclones here in Tucson. Wildcats have also won both neutral site meetings between these two teams. Those two meetings came 20 years apart. 1998 in Las Vegas, 2018 at the Maui Invitation, Maui Jim Maui. So there you go. This
in the ballroom, right?
In the ballroom. That's
Atlantis.
Atlantis, yeah. In the ballroom. Maui's in that small Cracker Jack.
What's that school out there that beat Houston that one time?
Oh, Chaminade.
Chaminade, yeah.
Chaminade, indeed. Iowa State, again, they're going to have the advantage with their fans in this game. What was it? I think he said 3 hours. 3 hours from Des Moines.
I did the math. It's the same as Flagstaff. So it's if you drive from Tucson to Flagstaff, it's the same from Ames to Kansas City.
Milan Momcilovic, we didn't really talk too much about him in our pest segment, but he's obviously a guy that at times has been hurt and not been able to play against U of A and has not really shown, I think, what he's – I don't know that we've seen the real Milan Momcilovic in any of he's only played in 2 of the 3 games against U of A, and I don't know that we've seen the real Milan Momcilovic. So possibly he scored just 5 points yesterday in playing 30 minutes against Texas Tech in that contest. Joshua Jefferson talked about the confidence that he has in Milan Momcilovic getting his offensive game back.
You know, he's going to keep shooting. He's a great shooter. I mean, I'm not shooting the ball really good at all either. So just got to keep shooting, stay confident, and he's going to be good.
Yeah, 2 for 8 against Texas Tech. He also went just 2 for 8 in that game here, 1 for 5 from 3, and finished with just 5 points. So he's kind of been up and down the last.
It's expectations. We just got done talking about Arizona's expectations to get to Final Fours or whatever. He started 3/4 of the way through the season. He was at 50% from 3. Right? When you're shooting 50% from 3, DK, and you have a little bit of a lull, then everybody's asking what's wrong. They're only asking what's wrong, Kelvin, is because he was having the best season, since Salim and those guys that one year, JJ Redick and Salim. I mean, people don't shoot 50% from 3 on a regular basis.
Yeah, let him stay quiet. That's all I got to say. Let him stay quiet until the next round.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, you look at his splits. Now, outside of the Texas Tech game on February the 28th, he is not against Texas Tech yesterday, 1 for 6. Arizona, 1 for 5 from 3. BYU, 1 for 4. So those 3 games, he made just 3 out of 15. The 2 games in between against the 2 back-to-back games against ASU, though, however, 4 for 8 and 4 for 9. So there's clearly he does not shoot the ball as well against the better competition, at least recently in this league.
Yeah, and even with the recent struggles, guys, for the season, he is shooting 49.2%.
Yeah. There you go. Let's hear from Milan. about seeing his teammates' offense dominate, but his not so much.
It's win by 20, and I made 1 3, 1 of 6, and Taman went out and hit 4 of them. It's like, I mean, I gave him the power today, so just to know that he can go out and do that, we have all confidence in his shot. It looks so good right now, and I'll be better tomorrow.
All right, we'll see. Milan Momacilo, he's career 43% three-point shooter, so you know he can do it. He's having his best year in terms of volume, having made over 119, and in the previous 2 years he'd made about 120 combined over the previous 2 seasons. So he has definitely taken massive steps forward in terms of being a three-point shooter this season. Tommy Lloyd on this game today against the ISU Cyclones.
Well, we played him a week ago or so, or 10 days ago. So, obviously we'll look back at that and try to figure out what worked and what didn't work and see if there's any adjustments we can make. But, we know we have a lot of respect for Iowa State and their program, and I have a lot of respect for TJ and the job he's doing, and I have a lot of respect for their players. And like I said, we're looking forward to the challenge. We're looking forward to the opportunity.
And it's going to be a fun one for sure. I mean, these 2 games today, like you said, once we get the ball tipped off, the focus will turn to the basketball, and you could not have asked for a better Final Four at this tournament than you've got. Kansas, obviously the longtime dominant team in this league. You got Houston, who went to the Final Four last year and has become the dominant team in this league. Arizona, like Eric Heft said, has just added so much to this conference. And Iowa State kind of being that team as well that's proven that they can play deep into March as well.
Kelvin, we lived through a lot of the Pac-12, Pac-10 era where there might have been 2 or 3 top 25 teams, but not much, the big fall off after that, okay? Here's the last 10 games. Number 9, Kansas. Number 16, Texas Tech. Number 23, BYU. Number 2, Houston at Baylor. Number 14, Kansas versus number 6, Iowa State at Colorado, UCF, and Iowa State today. That is 9 out of 10 NCAA tournament teams to close the season, including today and if they get by today, tomorrow. So, Kelvin, you're talking about playing 10 consecutive NCAA tournament teams at the tail end of the season. Nothing will get a team more prepared and ready for those high-intense moments than staying in it the whole time to close the season. We've seen so many years, Kelvin, where you'll get those 35, 40-point blowouts late in February and March as the season winds down. That's not helpful to a team. You still want to stay challenged. You still want to stay focused on how to beat tough defenses, on how to score against tough defenses and stop good offenses. So Arizona has seen the toughest 10-game stretch to end a season I've seen in my 40 years of watching Arizona, 40-plus years. I mean, this last 10 games has been kind of crazy, and they're going to be so much better for it.
And they started the season like that, so that's all they know. That's all they know. And then once they got the higher ranking, every team came at them like this is the number 1 team in the country, and they gave them everything that they had. So they haven't had any breaks. Like you said, especially these last 10 games, every game meant something. You lose 1 or 2 of those games, all of a sudden you're out of the conference championship regular season picture. Now you're playing a day earlier in the tournament. So, I just think now this is just who they are. They're used to playing this way, and it's not like the Pac-12 days where we had, we played a few teams and it didn't matter. We was looking forward to getting to the tournament so we could play some bigger names. No, you play those names in conference.
Since Tommy Lloyd came to Arizona in 21-22, his Wildcats are 10-2 in conference tournament games. There is not a coach in major conference college basketball that has a better record than that over that time span. 10-2 in tournament conference games. Arizona also, under Tommy Lloyd, has won 67% of their games against top 25 teams. They're 31-15. That's the second best winning percentage in the country over that time. Only Duke is slightly better than that. So Tommy Lloyd and his Wildcats have figured out a way to win these big games and have done it consistently. Let's find out what they need to do to win today.
Wildcats fans, what are the big keys for today's game? Our keys to the game are brought to you by Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive Group, the dealership that is different.
Guys, my keys are easy today. Again, you heard Eric say it. Hilton South. We know ours was McHale North. They call this Hilton South. It's going to be all of their people. So a start like last night, today, critical. If you can get up early on Iowa State and take their crowd out of it, I think that's going to be huge for the Wildcats today. Another 14-2 start would be really good. Whatever they did against Joshua Jefferson the first time around, do it again. Make his life miserable out there. Do not allow him to get going in this ball game today. And you can't, and, again, we said Iowa State loves to turn you over. If you can keep the turnovers down today, I think the Wildcats have averaged close to 14 turnovers in the 3 games the last 2 years against Iowa State. And granted, they've won 2 of those games. So it hasn't been something that's killed them. But in an environment like this against Iowa State, it might. So keep the turnovers under 10. I think you got a chance to go play in the final tomorrow. Kelvin.
I'm right with you with the turnovers, man. Last game we had 15, and they did a good job of us, turning us over. Guys you wouldn't expect to have 4 turnovers. Yvonne had 4 turnovers, so I think it's going to be very important for guys to be stronger with the ball since we're playing at their home. So also I believe that we have to make sure we stay locked in on their 3-point shooters. We did a great job last game. They were 7 of 30. Bateman was 4 of 10. He was hunting threes. We got to make sure when he comes in the game that we stay locked into him. Jefferson as well is a guy that I think we have to watch out for trying to come back and have a big game. And lastly, I would love for our offensive players, the starters, the bigs, that's what I'm saying, to get going early to put some foul pressure on these guys.
Yeah, I think obviously, Iowa State is 4th in the nation in turnovers forced per game. So that's clearly what TJ's squad is trying to do. They're trying to turn those turnovers into easy offense. They may not run all the time, especially off defensive rebounds, but really aggressive at pushing tempo once they get into the passing lanes and get those steals. So as you guys both said, it's very imperative that they keep the turnovers low. Something under 12, I think, will work. And same thing on the offensive rebounds. That's another huge part of what the Cyclones are trying to do. They're trying to beat you to the offensive glass, get a lot of putbacks, and scramble for those open threes. Off offensive rebounds, don't be surprised to see Cyclones kick it out to open shooters. That's a hard scramble for defenses to get back and find a man after an offensive rebound. If you didn't know this, guys, ISU is number 1 in the nation in kill shots. More kill shots than any other team in the country. So super important to make sure that you follow both of those basic principles of what Arizona does. Take care of those rebounds. And on the other side, I would love to see Arizona attack the aggressive Iowa State defense. You don't play passive, Kelvin, against those hard doubles. You want to make sure that you understand where to swing the ball, go across, double pass, hockey assists. Somebody's open. If there are 2 guys on the ball handler, if you get the post doubled, make sure that you find an easy outlet and swing the ball around to an open shooter. Somebody's open. Those are my keys tonight versus the Cyclones.
And those are the things we believe the Wildcats need to do to win today against ISU.
Those are our keys for today's game. The keys to the game. Brought to you by Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive Group, the dealership that is different. The foundation of a great basketball team begins with the starting lineup. Today's starting lineup is brought to you by Rocking K, a master plan community designed by nature.
41 kill shots the Cyclones have had in this season. Pretty good. Jaden Bradley at a guard, 6'3" senior out of Rochester, New York. Jaden Bradley on the season averaging 13 points and 5 assists per contest. Braden Burries starts at the other guard, a freshman out of San Bernardino, California. Braden Burries, 16 points and 5 rebounds. The man in the middle, Motias Krivas, 7'2" out of Chile. Lithuania, 11 points, 8 rebounds. Koa Pete, freshman out of Chandler, 6'7", 14 points and 5 rebounds. Ivan Karchinkov, the other forward, 6'7", out of Munich, Germany, 10 points, 4 rebounds on the season. That is going to wrap things up for us. Tommy Lloyd is your head coach, if you did not know that. Coming up next, number 2, Arizona. Number 7, Iowa State. Brian Jeffries, Reggie Geary have the call. We'll talk to you after the game. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. Until then, bear down, Arizona.
Up your game in a new Buick or GMC from Royal Buick GMC. At Royal, we always deliver a quality vehicle at a great price. Score a great deal with our no-pressure, non-commissioned sales staff and our transparent online pricing. Plus, Royal offers a 72-hour buyback guarantee. Score big at Royal Buick GMC, the dealership that's different. See dealer for details. Royal Buick GMC in the Tucson Auto Mall or RoyalTucson.com.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Spring is in the air and our warm temperatures are about to turn hot. Now is the time to take advantage of pre-summer savings before the hot summer weather. Picture Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing is offering 5-year, no-interest financing on the installation of green HVAC systems, OAC. Call now for your free estimate, 520-492-0748, or make your appointment online at picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care with Mad March savings all month long. Now's the time to save big with big deals on major brand tires like the long-lasting, quiet-riding Michelin Defender 2 and slam dunk savings on automotive repairs with big rebates up to $100. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's 14 convenient locations are ready to assist on your next championship drive. Check out jackfurriers.com for even more savings. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Hi, this is Natalie Fernandez at Meridian Wealth Management. And one of the hardest things I witness is when someone passes and they hadn't updated their beneficiaries properly beforehand. We all experience change in our lives, marriage, divorce, kids, and we work very hard for what we have. Leaving your legacy exactly the way you desire is important. This is your reminder to review all of your beneficiary designations today and at least annually. Seek guidance if you need it. Call our office at 520-719-1433 for more information.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
It's a full court press this March at Casino del Sol and Casino of the Sun. Join our $1 million March Mania promotion for your shot at $1 million with your bracket picks. Or win $100,000 with a perfect prop card. Now through April 6th. Swipe your Club Soul card daily for a free drawing entry. Plus, every 200 slot and table points is an additional entry. Then join us April 6th for the grand finale drawing, only at Casino del Sol, an enterprise of the Pascua Yaqui tribe.
You know it, your neighbors know it, and let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be, but thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was, and even better. Dorado Rock and Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock and Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
Family outgrowing your car? Hughes Federal Credit Union can help you get the car you want and the rate you need. Hughes is one of the only financial institutions in the country that doesn't switch loan rates based on a qualified buyer's credit score. That means you get our one-rate guarantee regardless of your credit score. We promise. When it's time for your next new or used car, Hughes is here to take you further. Check out our low rates on hughesfcu.org/auto and apply today. Certain restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
When it comes to basketball, nothing beats Wildcat basketball.
The Wildcats can dribble it out. Champions in the Big 12, Arizona Wildcats.
This is the Phillips 66 Big 12 Tournament.
Stolen by Karchinkov on a breakaway. There goes Yvonne to the bucket. Slam it home. A walk to the offensive rebound. Play it up good. And he's fouled. Backdoor cut to Burries. Drives the baseline and slams it home. 3-on-1 ahead to Bradley. And shoot an open three and score it. Rivas catches it inside. Double team right block. Jump hook over it is good. Aristode left corner three. Got it. Del Orso for three. Buries it. He lost the defense. The bucket. Hammer it home.
Stay tuned for a complete preview of today's game, including a look at the Cats' opponent, scores from games around the country, and the pregame thoughts of head coach Tommy Lloyd.